On your blue side, going to be NC State University with St. Clair Academy in the red. First couple of bands coming around the corner here. The screen has been swapped. We now have draft. We have players in lobby, and we have our casters. Of course, my name is Mr. Danners. Going to be one of your casters here for tonight, joined alongside, at least for game number one, because of how dang busy it is here today. Amanda, Commanda, how are we doing today? We got some League.
Doing pretty good. League is all I do, so this is going to be fun.
Well, I apologize. Sorry, I'm sorry to hear that. No, I'm just kidding. But,
yeah, sorry for your loss of time.
Oh, jeez. Hey, as long as it was entertaining, it's not a loss.
Exactly.
But first couple bands coming on through. Saint's going to be getting rid of the Talia, Jarvan 4, and Ziggs because we want actual bot laners down in the bot lane.
Thank God.
Some actual lady carries, not mages. At least not this time by. Meanwhile, our side, Karthus, Yone. Okay, good. Get Yone off the board. Otherwise, first pick or ban basically every single game. Then Skarner, and now we got some picks coming through.
Oh, yeah. Oh, the Corki coming through. Faker played him at Worlds, and now everybody is trying to be a Corki main. I gotta say, I'm not a big Corki fan, but he can be deadly in the right hands, so.
100%, and it's one of those characters that I feel like are just never bad.
Yeah.
It always seems to kind of hover around like the meta, the fringe meta. Top lane, bot lane, mid lane, don't care. Got plane, go vroom, doesn't matter. You're still a threat in the late game. AD, AP, you have options. Plenty of options. But speaking of some options, what's Saint pulling out this time by?
It looks like we have Viego Jungle, also a pretty lethal jungler right now. He is considered S tier from what I've seen in most ranks, like Platinum Plus.
Okay, who's calling this guy S tier?
He's actually pretty broken right now, I will say. Viego is pretty beefy right now.
Uh-oh, so that's going to be scary to deal with. Hui coming around as well. Or definitely not Invoker, as I called them during during setup. But quick shout out to Mathis as well for Viego getting picked here. I know Viego's his boy.
Absolutely. Yeah, Viego is peak right now. It looks like the thing is with Hui is one of those champs that I feel like he doesn't really have a specialty. He's kind of can do everything, which can be good if you want flexibility, but if you have a certain role on the team, it can be a little bit like you're trying to pick and choose what you need to do.
Absolutely. Like, if you really need something specific, he's not going to excel at anything, but at least you have options.
Yeah.
But the one option that I am going to need is to quickly look up the League of Legends website, because they're going to expose me. Aurora is picked. I do not know what this character does in the slightest. At least, I've seen some Worlds play, so I know she's definitely elusive. But
yeah.
One person who doesn't care about elusiveness and just wants to dive right into things, we got Zach coming in here for NC State.
Yeah, also a pretty good jungler right now. Can also be played bot. I'd imagine that's where he's going to be played as bot from what we had kind of seen.
The support Zach?
I don't know. Actually, it might be jungle. I'm not 100% sure because I was just looking at their like game histories here before the cast with you, and it could be the one player that is listed as their bot laner, but it's playing jungle.
Okay.
Yeah. But Aurora is one of those champs. She was banned a lot in Worlds because
I remember that.
She's deadly. She's deadly. But I feel like against Hui, because she has so much movement, that's like her entire shtick. She can hop everywhere. She is a bunny.
Right.
She can get out of most situations, and a lot of Hui's things I find kind of have like that slower cast in the beginning of the game at least. So she will probably have the advantage early game on that.
Right, like you get caught, you get hit hard, but just don't get caught. Don't step in the fire, right?
Yeah, exactly. And her ult can really lock down an area too. They can't leave. So that's really good for team play, and if you have a team that will actually like capitalize on that.
Like stay in the circle.
Yeah, and she also does a lot of damage herself. So
right.
Yeah, just like a big circle that pops up is her ultimate, and she can like bounce through the walls, and I think she stuns when she goes through it. Not 100% sure. She is one of the newer champs, so let's see.
Absolutely. Then on the St. Clair side now, definitely a character I'm very, very familiar with but definitely not familiar with that artwork. Since when did Sivir look like that? That's a little bit different, but I could just be a little bit out of touch. A couple bands also came down the road as we were talking, and I was pointing out during the setup that the top laner on the side of NC State has like 115 games on Urgot this season. I don't blame the Saints for using that ban on what is a very, very niche ban, but at least it makes sense alongside the Rakan.
Oh yeah, I think because of the Urgot ban, it looks like this person also played a lot of like Mordekaiser, Aatrox, kind of those tankier champions that really hit hard. Ornn as well, it was up there, so that's definitely, we're going to see that come through for top lane. Nautilus for support on the side of the Saints. Nautilus Sivir is going to be menacing, to say the least. I'd imagine that's Corki bot lane Zac support, as you kind of said earlier, Dan. And
Gotcha.
Aurora mid, since we have Ornn top.
Hey, well, NC State with their 5th pick, they definitely have options. There's going to be Alistar coming on down here just to kind of solidify that support pick. But the fact that they left that right to the end, though, definitely had the Saints guessing for at least a little bit, which does mean that top lane, in theory, knows what they're going up against, realizing they're going up against Ornn, which means this is probably going to be a wet noodle fight. Do you want to bring a sword to a wet noodle fight?
We'll have to see. I mean, it looks like they are going to lock in that Aatrox. Alistar is going to be the support on the side of NCSU, and Zac will be the jungler there. Aatrox top for the Saints. Actually, I'm really liking both of these comps. Like, they're both very solid comps. They feel like stuff that I would see, like just watching Worlds recently. Just kind of very meta, good, solid comps.
Absolutely. There's nothing coming out here that just has me throwing out question mark pings in my head or anything along those lines of anything super niche or really out there or really stupid. Nothing along those lines in the slightest. Like I said, like relatively standard all around. A couple of opportune times for maybe possible outplays, thinking about the Aatrox maybe going up on the top lane and giving Ornn a hard time. But looking at especially that mid lane battle with the Aurora versus the Hui, that is going to be an interesting one to follow around and see if the junglers maybe get some interference happening in there as well, because yeah, it is going to be a massive positioning game. Can the Hui manage to sneak some hits and just dominate the lane, put the pressure on and push Aurora out? Or Aurora could just be as safe as can be, just farm away, poke, and be completely happy.
Exactly. Like, that's Aurora's whole MO, is just poke, poke, poke until you can do whatever execute you think you can pull off, whether that's with your ultimate or your jungler comes to gank and you ult so they can't run away or whatever it is. Aurora definitely is a dangerous champ to go against right now. Hui can be good in the sense of, like, he can give himself a little bit of speed boost, like with that water spell that he casts or whatever on the ground, as long as he walks in it. But I feel like Aurora, like, can just outplay in terms of speed, and that's really big when you're going against a mage, is like that cast time if you can just kite everything, then you're useless.
Well, very true. With more speed comes more technicality. So with that, more difficulty. So it is definitely going to be a lot of pressure for the NC State mid laner unraveling to try and make that work. Trick to quickly cheat here and take a look at their OPGG to see if they've really played Aurora during the regular season. But in terms of ranked, I don't see her here at all. It's a lot of Talia and Hui.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I know the ranked play ladder compared to the 5-stack ladder is definitely a whole different ball game. But at least based off of ranked practice, this could be a rather unpracticed champion. But Unraveling is also the grandmaster of the group. So if there's anybody you want to have maybe able to make up for a little less experience, it's probably that guy.
Definitely. And it looks like the top laner, Icy, on the side of NCSU.
The Urgot.
The Urgot.
The Urgot is here.
Yeah, exactly. He was banned a lot, but his Ornn win rate is nothing to laugh at either. It looks
67.
Yeah, it looks 67% is solid. Like, honestly, anything over 50 is solid. You want to be winning more games than you're losing, and this is like winning 2/3 of your games.
Yeah, granted, that's not a very big sample size, only the 9 games to their name. But the one thing that does scare me, though, look at the champion that's their second most played.
Yeah.
It is Aatrox. So if there's anybody who's going to know this matchup, it should be Icy going into the Aatrox here of our Saints. So kind of nervous now going into this one.
Yeah, that is one thing that pretty much you listen to any YouTuber, anybody who plays the league competitively at a high level, they will say, and I say that as Iron 4, by the way, they will say that knowing what the person you're playing against, if you know that champ to a T, you're going to have a way easier time playing against them because you'll know exactly, maybe they push up a little bit too far just before doing a move where they're trying to poke you. You'll see it coming from a mile away because you'll be like, oh, I know he's trying to use his Q or whatever, right? And that's something that is going to be beneficial, I think, for this top laner.
Yeah, and all the temptation, I guess, that goes with playing the characters. Because I always compare it to Riven. Do you think that a Riven wants to give up using that third part of the Q? No,
Yeah.
They want to use it, whether it's on a minion or on you, preferably on you. They will hyperextend to make sure they hit you with that, which then your jungler could come say hi and just absolutely destroy them because they've blown all their movement. But
Exactly.
being able to know those little microaggressions is definitely going to be in the pocket here for Icy. Take a look at the Twitch chat here. We have a lot of Kadito fans. Good to see you all. If Kadito has 0 fans, I'm dead. Well, I'm glad you're here with us, and we have multiple Kadito fans here. It looks like the shun all of y'all will have to see because definitely going up against some tough talents, but not impossible. See if they can make this happen.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting here. I haven't seen our Academy team play in a little while. There's not very many chances where we're able to cover as many games as we are tonight. So being able to actually watch Academy, and it's not like in one of the other rooms while I'm working, is going to be fun. I always love to see Academy games because you see some schools and stuff that you might not have had on your radar before, but you'll start to see them more and more throughout the next few years for sure.
Oh, 100%. All the upstarts that, they're taking it seriously, just they haven't had maybe as much time as some of these other schools.
Yeah, or funding or something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So definitely love to see it. And I know, personally, I'm a sucker for Academy games because, trust me, I love watching our Saints 3-0 in a handshake the entire season of every single varsity premier match ever because we're just that cracked. However, at the end of the day, I'm a showman and I want to see a damn good game. And I see that more often with Academy, and Academy tends to love it when they get on stream, whether it be their opportunity to kind of show off a little bit of showboating. I know they've been sharing the stream with all of you here. So again, thank you all for tuning in. But yeah, very, very excited to have some Academy here because even the past couple of days, we haven't gotten to cover it, but Rocket League won their division yesterday.
Yeah.
And it just went completely under the radar for broadcast. Thankfully, marketing was 100% on top of it. That was up there immediately. It's I felt bad. It's no, I wish I should have covered that. No,
oh, yeah, it happens, right? If Saints Varsity is the Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson fight, then Saints Academy should look like WrestleMania.
Heck yeah. If I remember doing all the Academy Valorant games, those always went into overtime and stuff either, and those ones were absolutely ridiculous here. Now, I'm not a bot. Let's switch this overlay back over properly, breaking some fourth wall stuff, but you know what it is. We have some games finally here. Never mind. Classic pause right at the start of the gate.
See, the people want to see the Rift, Dan, and just when we try to give them exactly what they ask for, League of Legends has decided otherwise.
Hey, you can see the Rift.
Yeah, you can see it.
There. That's a pretty tower. That circular structure on top of the tower, that didn't used to be there. That's actually kind of cute.
Yeah. This is for Arcane right now. They changed a lot of the structures to kind of match the Arcane hex gates and stuff.
I see. Well, let's hope those things just don't explode out of nowhere. But
Rage.
You imagine just walking by the turret and just one of them just randomly explodes with a bunch of gold.
Yeah, exactly. And they're like, we're just going to wipe every champ in the game and start over.
The arcane orb explodes. A loot goblin from Diablo comes running out. You kill it. Azir shows up and builds you a sand turret to replace it. Like, okay.
Oh, yeah.
That's some unhinged League of Legends, to say the least here. But without further ado, the pause has subsided, and we have ourselves a game on our hands. Get a little bit of a line of scrimmage to start things off here. Nobody wants to be the one to make the first move. And I am double-checking to make sure that leg is on our side. Sometimes that does happen after a pause, after all.
Yep, pretty common, like, League Observer client bug.
There we go, yeah.
There.
So yes, we can see the rift, we can see movement. Soon we'll see minions and the action shortly after that. But we do get to kind of confirm our lane matchups here. So Enigma on the side of NC State and the Celery Thief on the Alistar are going to be going up against our Saints, Creator Soa and Maradi on the Sivir and Nautilus respectively. Codito in the mid lane versus Unraveling. Probably going to be one of the heavier skill matchups in this one based off of rank alone. Batter Grimes going up against Kevra's Birdo? Kevra? We're going to call you Kevra. Kevra on the Zac. That's the jungle battle. And then Icy versus Nagin up in the top. That is going to be our lineup here for this first game.
It looks pretty, like, tame for right now. I mean, it is only the first few minutes of the game.
No invades or nothing, at least.
Yeah, exactly. Usually, like, you'll either see some sort of crazy invade and 3 people die and the game's decided there pretty much, or everybody's just kind of chilling and hanging out.
You mean you don't want to decide your first game of the semifinals by just Leroy Jenkins into the blue buff?
Yeah, exactly. That's, you know.
Lame.
I mean, one of my ranked games the other day, I had a Galio support and he decided that running just straight down mid into the tower to die was a good idea, so. In first minute, you know, like, it could be anything, you know, it could be strategic. Like I said, I'm Iron 4, so who knows? But
who's the Scion player that just launches themselves to die over again? Baus?
Yeah.
They just watch a couple Baus streams and just try to do it with other champions, but they kind of forgot the whole, you know, needing Scion to actually do that. But
true, yeah, because dying on Scion is just a buff, really.
Yes, of course. Down on the bottom lane, both teams hitting level 2 relatively quickly here. No real loss of CS or pressure really either way. I do think NC State did get it first, but they weren't really able to capitalize. I know Alistars love to get level 2 first and just absolutely full send with the blow pulverized combo, but not going to be this time. Megan getting level 3 first. Just going to opt to kind of put a little bit of pressure on, as we do see here in the bot lane as well. Chop after chop. Zac is going to be showing their face here in this mid lane. Some decent damage done to Codito. Didn't have to burn the flash, but takes about a quarter of their health for their measure.
I love the chat here. If it's a skill matchup, Codito wins every time.
Which is why we need the jungler to come in and make it a 2v1, right?
Exactly. That's the reason why Codito was pushed back to tower there, obviously. Just the presence was too powerful there for the side of NC State.
Like, look at this. Unraveling has to back up the base already. Codito's pressure is just too strong.
Yeah, exactly.
Never mind. They get to it.
It was a bait. It was a bait. Oh, no.
I tried, chat. I tried.
Yep. My goodness.
Badrick Grimes going towards the scuttle, maybe making their way towards that mid lane. Gonna have to see if that ends up getting into any pressure. Maybe going just off the back after scuttle. We do see the dive down here in the bot lane. Some pressure here onto Creator Soa. One thing this NC State team has to be careful of, though, those Sivir boomerangs, when they're not hitting anything and you take a direct hit like a damn truck. So you might be feeling safe there at full health and 3/4 health, but it's really funny how quickly that disappears.
Oh, it looks like we're going to see SCC Megan? Is that
I've been calling him Nagin, yeah.
Yeah. Gonna be just, like, hard poking this Ornn out as well.
Good.
Yeah, bot lane here. Looks like Zac is going to get the vision. We're going to see Badrick Grimes come in with that Viego. Going to jump onto Corki. Corki's ignited. Oh, my goodness. Roddy almost gets taken out there, but it looks like everybody manages to survive. Codito as well, going to get some good damage onto Unraveling.
And that bot lane pressure might not be done yet. Sure, Marathi had to burn both of their summoners to stay alive in that engagement, but all things considered, still rather healthy versus an Alistar Corki lane. You don't have to really worry about getting bursted up too badly. Negan, though, is just going to go on the 1v1. We know Icy doesn't necessarily have a lot of damage early here, and is going to be forced to back after dropping below a quarter.
Oh yeah, Codito managing to just hang out mid lane here while Aurora backs. A little bit of a gambit, trying to see if he can take a little bit of tower, I'd imagine, before backing.
The TP's going to come in and stop that, however.
Yeah,
and Codito's got to think about maybe backing themselves because they kind of ran out of gas. They're out of mana at this point here. Go back, get some items. So far, leading this lane overall just by a little bit. But now, load up. Get some more mana items as well, so you can just keep spamming those hard hitting abilities. As we do see Negan, once again, Icy had to use teleport to get back up to this lane in decent time, but Negan, even through the item difference, is able to nearly take care of Icy. But now with Icy staying there, I think it's kind of giving it away a little bit. Here comes Jump Scare Kevra. Never mind, Battered Grimes has arrived to the fight at the same time. Icy's in a very awkward spot, extremely low, but wants the help, but cannot get the job done. Forces the flash out of Kevra to be able to stop that in its tracks. But this may still not be over here. Just ends being a little bit of poke back and forth in the mid lane. But a solid engage here for the Saints one more time. Not quite.
The Aatrox just like hammer swing pretty much, or the sword swinging it down, boom, every time does like so much health, like almost a fifth of Icy's health there.
Yeah, just immediately shreds, and then Creator Soa down here in the bot lane alongside Marathi. Like, Creator Soa barely took anything from that combo at all. If anything, it's Marathi who's going to end up taking about half their health and damage here. Being able to spell shield away at least one of those hard-hitting abilities there for Creator Soa is definitely coming up to some value and keeping the health relatively even here in this lane. They are still getting pushed away from minions, though. So overall, losing, but not by that much.
Yeah, everybody is pretty close in CS as well, except Corki has almost 15 CS up on Sivir, which is not a situation you really want to be in, but it's not all that crazy. Looks like the NC State University team is going to try to go for the first dragon, which happens to be Hextech Dragon. But we'll have to see if they actually get to do it.
Yeah, they should be able to. They're going to give up a couple minions towards that bot side, and the Saints are going to be able to see this. We do see Battered Grimes making the rotate down towards Dragon, but probably just going to opt to stop at the buff, realizing they are just a little bit too late for this one. That is going to be Kevra Birdo to secure that one. And honestly, good there for Corki Enigma to get back into lane right as the wave was pushing into the turret. So to be honest, they got a lot of value and did not give up a whole heck of a lot.
Megan was proxying there, just went right past Icy and killed the next wave.
Okay, so overall, I think we could say that Negan's just had an absolute field day onto Icy, right?
Oh, yeah, so far, it's been...
Then I looked at the CS.
Yeah, exactly. 20 CS differential there. I mean, when it comes to items, it's not all that crazy just yet, but... Oh no! Oh no! The jump scare comes through. Negan trying to take out Icy and then bot lane.
Yeah, we got two things happening at the same time here. As we do see Celery Thief getting very, very low, Enigma a little bit worse for wear as well. Creator Soa, though, has to be very, very careful. Eat too many rockets, and that will be the end of your life this time by. Up in the top lane, that battle with Negan and Icy did not go too far. Negan still, they both still have their flash, rather. Just about a half health trade, which I don't know how many times Icy can get away with that one.
Yeah, it's gonna be kind of rough. And I mean, I gotta say, Creator Soa, why no pizza delivery, Sivir? That's the diff, you know. I gotta say, it's how you win your games. So I'm just kidding, but I would have liked to see it. Next game, though, you have a chance.
There's still the opportunity, still more games to come.
Rip out the wallet and get some RP here.
Yeah, it's because skin get wins.
Yep.
But we're going to see Kevra make a little showing here in the mid lane, going up against Codito. Codito's kind of low on mana, about half health as well. Probably going to try and find an opportunity to back at some point here, considering all the damage taken.
No.
Negan is making himself right at home here underneath Icy's turret. Just getting more gold plates while Icy's literally stepped right there. Just absolute no respect. But it just goes to show how much of a not a, I don't want to say a dead weight, but just how long it takes for Ornn to get online, especially against players that know how to really push them around.
Well, the thing is, too, with Ornn is he's a great team fighter. Alone, not as good early game. Like, once he gets his ultimate, he can do some team fights half decently, right? Like, even if it's just for zoning, but I don't know. Like, he is one of those mid to late game champs, at least in my experience.
All right, taking a look at this mid lane. If it's a skill matchup, well, it was basically dead even for a second there. It was 87 to 86 in terms of CS, but Kodito got back to the lane first, and there we go, 92-92. This is literally dead even here in this mid lane. We do see now the Saints maybe making a move towards the blue buff. Kodito is going to be the first exposed, scoops them up nice and quickly, does a bunch of damage, but they're not the one that should be taking this situation. Kodito is going to be the first one to go down here. First blood over to Unraveling, and now the Void Grubs could be a solitary prize.
This is something Varsity Grimes might try to steal one at the end, but I think it's just better to get out. It's not worth losing that many people, that many lives so early on.
Yeah, you see, like, Kodito was doing strong one-on-one. Even in the 2v1s was holding their own. They had to break 3 this time.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what happened, right, Twitch chat? But unfortunately there for Kodito, and that's really going to springboard things towards Unraveling to really get a jump start on this lane. Bit of extra gold in the pocket, and God forbid we get this Aurora online and just chunking people. That is going to be terrifying, but it is not going to matter if Negan just absolutely chops them before they do anything. So there is still plenty of options here for the Saints to keep themselves in this one. In fact, only 300 gold, 400 gold down, so still anybody's game.
Oh yeah, especially too, I wanted to point out, Aurora rushed Sorcerer's Shoes here, so definitely going for that movement speed, as I was kind of talking about in draft. That is one of her specialties, so we'll have to see what way cooks up against that. Looks like he's going more like AP, just, hit her hard.
Absolutely. Enigma now in the bot lane here hits pretty hard as well. Unfortunate for Amarati. Tried to make a little bit of a prediction with the hook and did not quite get it. Otherwise, that might have been the kill. Oh, barely. Forcing the W away there for Enigma. But a 3-on-3, or 3-on-2 rather, that is going to be Creator So with no mana in the tank. They blew their flash. It's right outside of the range of the turret, but they're going to keep on going in. Now Marati's going to dive on in. Enigma's going to get taken, or gets Creator So taken down. But there is still reinforcements around the corner. Varsity Grimes getting absolutely chucked out. Auto Director, what are you doing? We got to fight down to the bot lane. We have a lot of low health bars around the entire map, but the only one to fall is going to be Creator So.
Yeah, which is not all that bad for Saints. It's just kind of a stalemate, creating some blows. Negan.
This is actually kind of scary.
Oh, yeah. Especially now the Ornn ult coming through. Gonna have to play this a little bit carefully.
Can he kill a tower?
Oh my gosh, wait, he might actually be able to do it. Oh, he got one hit! Okay. Yeah, there he goes. Okay, he's safe.
Okay, I'm typing worth in all chat every single time, and absolutely proclaiming off of that one. But as all that chaos happened, there were so many low health bars on the side of NC State that Saints could just say, I guess we didn't get any kills, but heck, got a dragon.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Not all that bad here. I mean, we're pretty even. I know gold is not the only way to tell, like, who's winning and whatnot, but it's even gold, even grubs. I think Saints have a tower up, but even dragons as well. And we're just kind of, it's anybody's game right now. It could turn any second.
And Twitch chat, we've got Dragon plus first tower. We absolutely take those.
Oh, for sure.
100%. And that's still one of the reasons why, even though the Saints haven't necessarily gotten an elimination on the board, they are still keeping up there with gold because of all of these objectives. But they're going to have to be very, very careful. Creator So somewhere in the Nether basically lost half of their HP. Celery Thief may be thinking about going for a dive with their buddy. Might want to bring one more there, but nobody's going to be quite there to assist them as of yet. But the pressure is definitely on to Creator So they are falling much, much more behind now that Corky's got the Trinity Force. Just tons of damage going to be coming out of that Corki every little bit. Definitely hurts. Ultimately coming out here from Unraveling, and there is going to be some more, though. Neg diving on in onto the 3, but realizing that, sure, might be having a good time up in the one-on-one, but versus 3, it might be a different story. And that is going to make Kevra find another elimination here, this time on Badrick Grimes. And Saints just not comfortable finding a team fight right now.
Yeah, it's kind of been an awkward team fight every time they go for an objective, other than Dragon. Just because it seems like they have top lane come down, jungle kind of gets a lot of damage taken early and has to back out or dies. And then Codito is there as well, but can't really tank anything, so he ends up dying or needing to get out.
1v1 mid, final destination style, why don't we? Items off.
Exactly. But, look, Codito's taunting them. He's like, come here. 1v1 me, bro.
Yeah, like, come at me. And the Zac jumps on, and I was like, oh dear God, never mind. But, yeah, 1 level down in the mid lane, so still has a little bit of work to do in that regard. And Maradi, though, actually does manage to find the hook right onto Unraveling, and that is going to be a big shutdown. This is what the Twitch chat was looking for. Codito going to get on the board with their first elimination. Shutdown gold in their pocket as well.
Oh, I see. Okay. We have 2 screens with the game up, and I realized the one on the left here is like 2 seconds behind, maybe. So that's why I was kind of like, well, he didn't take the tower. It makes sense.
Sorry, I've got one to see the beautiful people here on the Twitch chat, and then the other one is actually the one that we're in game on. So
yeah, that was my bad. Sorry, Twitch chat, if I confused you guys.
Hey, we make do with what we have, but still having a fun time nonetheless here. And of course, to everybody tuning in here on Saints Gaming CA3, like this isn't the only thing happening today. We're on Saints Gaming 3 for a reason, because we have basically 3 main events here tonight, 3 semifinals, and there's going to be 2 of them starting at 8:30. It's League Varsity going up against Maryville, and then Overwatch Varsity going up against Illinois State University, which basically has how many players that are like in the top 8 of the world right now?
Yeah, there are like half of that team is part of a top 8 team in the world.
It is absolutely ridiculous. But now down here in the bot lane, the pressure is on here from Maradi and Crater. So there is Kevra right around the corner as well. And of course, Zac can absolutely send themselves a long, long distance. They're trying to be as careful as they can around that tower. Try not to group up so you don't get knocked up at the same time. But they're actually going to opt against it. The Saints are rotating, however. Dragon coming up in about a minute's time, so maybe time to clear some vision. But that could be our first opportunity at like a good 3-on-3, 4-on-4 kind of team fight.
Yeah, this is looking to be competitive here. I mean, NC State has more kills than Saints right now, but I don't know, like, the game can really turn any second here. We have, like you said, Dragon coming up. Could have a good fight here. Aurora looking to move in with the jungler and Alistar to start a fight, perhaps, down here near bot lane.
And if there's anybody I want face checking, it's definitely Alistar. Codito, though, is going to get jumped on pretty well immediately. The gang of 3 has shown up once again, but now Nagin is here as well. But the tank line's not here. He's been knocked up so many times. It's absolutely terrifying. Barely gets the sword out for even any damage in the slightest. The rest of the Saints are here, though, and there was a lot of resources used on the top laner. Celery Thief is going to go on down here, so 1 for 1. But the top laner for the support, if I'm NC State, I'm not complaining about that one, especially now that Shelly comes to play.
Yeah, this is looking crazy here, actually. It was just a trade, if I do recall correctly. But, like, that fight felt weird. I don't know how else to explain it.
Oh, we got ourselves another one pretty well immediately. Look at the amount of CC coming out of here from NC State. But guess what? Your CC doesn't do anything for damage for the most part until finally Enigma shows up to blow up Badrick Grimes, just like on the bridge. And it is going to be the end of that life this time here for Badrick Grimes until we inevitably see him like 7 episodes later.
Yeah, exactly. He'll respawn. But yeah, the chain CC here from NC State, and I think that's why I'm finding these fights to feel so weird.
They're just bouncing!
Yeah, they're just throwing the entire team in the air, and then they can pick off one person, but after that, they have no cooldowns, and they kind of need to just, like, back up for a minute.
Yeah, and it's really relying on just the two individuals. It's really relying on Enigma and Unraveling to basically pump out the majority of the damage for the entire team, especially Enigma there. Like, Unraveling was there in that fight, but it felt like they were still just kind of getting tickled down. Then Enigma shows up and everybody blows up. Like, it's definitely kind of scary here. We're going to need a little bit of a lockdown here on Enigma for St. Clair Academy to make something happen here, as the next Dragon is going to be scooped up pretty well uncontested by NC State.
Yeah, nothing Saints can really do here to contest that. It's just going to get taken. Other than that, I mean, Twitch chat here is saying NC State ain't ready for the second half. Coach about to give a speech at 25 minutes. And it's always like that football coach speech where all of a sudden the team just becomes godly and turns it around.
Don't worry, everybody. We scale.
We scale.
We scale, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So does Corky. But I mean,
yeah. At level 18, it's an even playing field, guys, so it'll be okay.
It's like at Valorant. We're a defending team, right?
Yeah, exactly. We all have Phantoms and Vandals and heavy armor, and we'll just get them on defense. It's fine.
Yeah, if there is one thing just as true as people apparently not ganking Kodita 1v1, it's the amount of copium gamers have been behind. But I laugh, but still. Just about 3,000 gold here in the lead here for NC State. That's definitely considerable.
Yeah.
But not undoable. Normally, whenever I see it get above, like, say, 8K, that's when I'm like, okay, this game's gone.
Yeah.
But we're nowhere close yet. The two Dragons on the side of NC State is definitely terrifying, but not all hope is lost.
Ooh. Ends up throwing the blue buff over the wall by accident there. Just kind of struggling a little bit, to say the least here, but looks like they might be trying to collapse onto Saints in the mid lane. I thought Zach was going to go diving in, but he was just hitting a ward there. But, oh, they are going to invade into jungle. Bad Rick Grimes needs to be on his toes.
Godfather. I don't want to claim that we're on the Hopium, because the truest combo here for Saints League, at least for the varsity side of things, was Hopium into Copium, and I don't want that play to end up going against us, as we are now going to have Icy and the rest of NC State really making a push towards the top lane. Badrick Grimes and Nagan going to just chip away here at Icy, but if anybody who's going to take a lot of damage and be A-okay, it's going to be Icy there on that Ord. There is so much damage being done, but Nagan just can't finish the job. Nobody else is here for the reinforcements, which is going to allow for NC State to very, very scrappily pull this one together.
They were able to transfer that tower damage, however, which is kind of nice. It was a skill in its own to be able to coordinate with your team. Oh my goodness.
Sure.
Creator Soa does not know what they're getting themselves into. Maradi is here as well, but there are 3 members of NC State. Enigma is just chunking that tower down. Might just actually take
himself.
it. Yeah.
Like, I trade half my health for half the turret, and then there's Kevrat for the rest of it. So an incredible play here from NC State, actually, to be able to scoop up those 2 turrets in very, very quick succession after getting the upper hand on that team fight as well. Solid job overall.
It was just like Thanos, where he says, fine, I'll do it myself.
No kidding, eh? I feel like as AD carry players, we've probably done that once or twice, especially if you play Jinx.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. Because you get the little speed boost once you hit somebody, right? So,
yeah, you get the zoomies.
Yeah, exactly. So of course you can run it down.
Or technically that'd be Yumi, but
yeah, exactly. But still, actually one of these players, I forget who it was, had 100% win rate on Yumi, and I was like, I think that's pretty standard, isn't it?
If you're queued up with the right people.
Yeah, exactly. Not anymore. Yumi kind of got nerfed into the dirt, but regardless, Zach here gonna get another buff, red buff, and just getting stronger while the Saints are kind of just taking these weird fights mid. Not really, I don't know. Like, I feel like they're trying to split push, but it's not really working.
Like, it's a weird spot because they're trying to scoop up as many of the minions on both sides as possible, but their best opportunity at, I think, getting back into this will be actually a proper 5v5, as we're going to see Badrick Grimes get nearly blown up once again here. Half their health going down very, very quick, because I feel like the Saints have not had a proper 5-on-5 yet.
Exactly.
And it just takes Kodito one good combo and all of a sudden Enigma and Unraveling are basically gone.
Exactly, and
But
here's another tower.
Yeah, as another tower does end up going down here, but they've just not been able to really capitalize on that. It's always been these very, very awkward 4v3s or 3v2s, and it's just like Kodito's not had the opportunity to shine. Creator Soa's not been able to dance around the outside very comfortably. Megan's not been able to hit more than 2 Qs in a fight before getting taken down, which is definitely the risk you run when you don't run a traditional tank up in that top lane. And it's just unfortunate here for the Saints because they really need to focus down on those 2 squishies, but they're not giving themselves really the chance to do so.
Exactly. Another Dragon go the way of NC State unless Saints are going to swoop in last second. Doesn't look like they're going to do it. They're just going to back out. Maybe try to play for Baron and just get their strength up. We'll have to see. But if they're not careful, NC State is on soul point for Dragons. That is definitely another thing that's really going to force the Saints' hand in these upcoming minutes. Granted, we're 25 minutes and onward, so they're hanging in there. Gold lead's still extending here for NC State, but granted, lots of towers taken down, lots of Dragons in the pocket. But yeah, if that soul comes online, and the NC State squad continue to be as far in the lead as they are right now, even if they do get a fair 5-on-5 team fight, even if they get a 5-on-5 team fight where they jump on Enigma first, I still can't guarantee that would actually go into their favor. So it's very, very scary. Lots of positioning going to have to be taken into consideration here, but it's so difficult when you're relying on teleports because your solo laners are stuck trying to keep the minions away. Yeah, and especially this next dragon is going to be the Cloud Drake, so that's even worse for Aurora to get, because now she's just super speedy. Oh, as if she wasn't fast enough. Yeah, exactly. Now she's extremely speedy. I mean, I can't complain Zeri's in the game, but I mean... That's true, that's true. At least not this game. Yeah, it doesn't look like hope is lost for the Saints, though. I mean, they still have a decent bit of items, 5k-ish gold behind. Isn't the end of the world, but right now they really need to get this next dragon. Yeah, get the next dragon, limit the damage on any of these other structures. Because, yeah, one bad fight and that could now be your inhibitor, which if normal minions, handling those for a pain, having on super minions on top of that is not going to be that much fun either. As we do see, the vision is just really good right now for NC State as well. Creator Soa should not be the one leading the charge into the bush. Gonna have to blow the flash, but not gonna get caught out in the end. Which, in the end, is a tool to be used, but you want to make sure you use it at the right time. Otherwise, you could be stuck without it when you need it most. Just some pokes back and forth. Nothing really happening yet, but again, this isn't a full 5v5. It is a 4v4, but having that Aatrox there would make a world of difference, I think, especially for like tanking stuff. Oh, Badrick Grimes actually just gonna get knocked back by that Alistar and Ayo, Baron? Oh my gosh. Okay, kind of a bait actually. It is going to be Badrick Grimes getting blown up immediately before this fight really gets the opportunity to go here. Creator Soa gets stuck inside the Aurora ultimate, could not do a dang thing as we watch the Saints get evaporated here. Dagon has lots of damage, but you can't do it when you're being chased down like this. Kodito going to fall. All the Saints are going to fall before the fight truly gets its footing. Triple kill going over to Kevra, and NC State are looking to deal some damage, if not end the whole damn game. Yeah, we're almost at that 10k gold differential. Again, like I said, gold isn't everything, but 6 towers to 1 tower. Got 3 dragons to 1 dragon, and really it's just a world of difference here for the side of NC State. It isn't easy to come back from that. It looks like Badrick Grimes going to do their best at defense here. Going to get thrown around though, and Enigma is going to make that impossible. Yeah, unfortunately here with NC State on the Nexus doorstep, it's all down to one big fight, which granted, they are finally starting to get some decent damage coming out here from Kodito. Enigma is low, Kevra is extremely low as well. Maradi trying to finish the job, not going to quite be able to do it. I think somehow, can the Saints actually hang on to this one? The Nexus below a quarter, it's all up to Icy, but you have no damage. And somehow, after the triple kill from Kodito, the Saints live. I was not expecting that. I was like, well, GG after they lost the team fight, kind of wipe your hands of it, go next. But it looks like Saints still have some fighting energy left in them. However, they will not be able to go for Baron. They will not be able to go for Dragon, because if they want to and NC State takes wind of that, they could just end it right there.
Okay, I'm not going to lie. I literally pulled up OBS thinking that I was getting ready to switch the scene because the Nexus blew up. But fantastic job. I love being proven wrong. They're from the St. Clair Academy League squad that keep themselves in this game. But you're exactly right, and I'm trying to see there is a backdoor ward. But granted, at least in this instance, it's Unraveling and Icy who would be able to teleport, and they don't necessarily have the physical damage to do it quickly.
Yeah.
But still, the Nexus is extremely low, so that very well could be a play still in the pocket here of NC State if they really wanted to be cheeky. However, they're so far in the lead, they're about to get the soul on top of this too. I don't think they have to try anything cheeky. Just not be respectful, but just be standard, and you're probably fine.
Yeah, this is, it's not really even an option for Saints to try to contest that right now, because it's just a quick GG if that's the case. They are probably going to try to play as close to their towers as they can there, but all of mid lane is exposed. The Nexus is a quarter health. Not a whole lot that you can do.
You see Negan wants to go in, but there's really nobody safe that he can dive onto. And just the poke alone, half of the health gone here for Badrick Grimes. We are going to see NC State just poke away at this bottom tower. Some decent damage coming out here from Querido to really make Unraveling think twice about moving forward. That tower is going to be short to fall, and they're going to be worrying about minions on two sides.
Yeah, this is not what you want if you're the Saints. And I mean, Icy is getting a little too comfortable as well there.
Oh boy.
2 inhibs are going to go down. We're going to see a team fight come through. The Ornn ult is popped. Saints are losing their lives left, right, and center. Badrick Grimes goes down, and it looks like Negan is quick to follow. Creator Soa just can't do very much there. Maybe just stand in fountain and throw that throwing star.
There we got one.
Yeah, there you go. Okay.
Fountain dive! Mosh pit in the fountain, but Icy's going to be, screw that noise. This game's done. We're going home. So, game 1 was a rather interesting back and forth up until like the 15-minute mark. But then after that, it was just all NC State. They were doing a fantastic job getting the Saints just uncomfortable. Could not get them in a position where they can get a proper team fight on their hands. And I wonder if that is going to go into team or into champion select for the next one, because this feels like, while they were like pretty standard picks overall, it also kind of felt maybe a little bit confident, like you're expecting to do lots of 1v1s. Because like what we did see with the Saints Aatrox up in the top lane, like, yeah, you were able to bully Icy for the first little bit there, but then they just stopped taking 1v1s. And the Saints are going to have to go back to the drawing board going into game 2.
Yeah, it was definitely one of those games, I think. Like, I don't want to be this guy, but I think Saints might have lost a little bit in draft here just because they didn't have the sheer damage numbers that NCSU had. Just looking at some of these champs, right? Like, an Ornn late game is deadly. Corki late game is deadly. Alistar, the CC from that, and the Ornn, and the Aurora, and the Zac, all of them. They just chain stuns, and they can take their time doing their damage because you can't do anything about it.
Yeah, and we have to deal with Enigma. Did Enigma die that entire game?
I am not sure.
In that last team fight, they were 5-0 in like 7.
Yeah.
So like they just were doing a fantastic job of being basically an assassin, almost playing the Corki like LeBlanc.
Yeah,
oddly
exactly.
enough.
Yeah.
But very, very quickly here, because we were actually about to get into draft for game number 2, but I don't know about you. I kind of need a water break, and fortunately and unfortunately, because we do have plenty of action that you have to now get to go work, because Overwatch is just about to happen here. But hate to lose you at the same time.
Oh, that's okay.
But thank you for casting game 1 with me here, and looking forward to seeing how you do on the Overwatch stream. Thank you, Amanda.
Thank you very much. Goodbye, chat.
And with that, we'll take a very, very quick break before the next draft gets underway. Back in about 2-3 minutes. All right, off we go again. Game number 2 now between your St. Clair College Academy squad and NC State University. Of course, for those just joining, NC State is going to be the ones taking game number 1 after having a relatively even time here with the Saints during the first 15 minutes, but able to find a couple of picks over and over again to really snowball things going into the late game. One big highlight was Enigma on the side of NC State University. The 80 carry player playing Corky in the last game was doing such a fantastic job of getting into fights basically unscathed and blowing people up. Was at least 5-0 and something at the time of the last team fight. And with that, that is definitely going to change the way that the Saints look at this next draft, as we do have Corky going to be getting banned, going to be getting rid of the Zach there from Kevra as well. Talia going to get off the board as well. The bans on the side of NC State going to be the exact same. We do have Karthus, Yone, and Skarner. And then the first pick, Ziggs. We are going for a mage bot lane this time by no Sivir this time. Let's blow something up. Once again, while we do wait for this next one to get, or the next bans and picks to get on down here, of course, we're going to give a big thank you to everybody tuning into this one and supporting the League of Legends Academy squad. I know we do not get them on stream that often, but definitely happy to get them on here during probably what is their biggest match so far of this season here in this semifinal. See if they can keep themselves alive by taking this one, and thank you for watching and thank you for supporting them. Hui going to be picked up this time by NC State University. Not going to let Codito get it a second time in a row, so it'll be back to the drawing board if that was on Codito's radar, but we'll have to see what else they got in store for us. As Xin Zhao going to be picked up as well here for Kevra, another very standard jungler with some dive-in potential. A little bit more damage for them as well, so maybe can make an even bigger impact, but be a little bit squishier at that. Timer winds down. This time it is going to be the Saints that are going to pick up the Ornn. It's no Aatrox this time by, going to opt for the late game. And pick that big ol' crazy team fight tank. Now this is a character, whenever I think of Badrick Grimes, I don't know what it is, but I think of Graves. And sure enough, we are going to get it this time by here. More than likely going to be Graves in the jungle. Now one thing to note, Abessa is still in quarantine. We cannot pick that one at NC State, and sure enough, they're going to swap that one out here. Flip it on over. Going to be teasing us here in the production room a little bit, of course. Flash to Teemo, as if you're actually going to lock that in. And sure enough, the God is going to be locked in. So, for the side of NC State, Icy, who this season alone has 115 games and ranked on Urgot, has their champion. That is terrifying. Negan is definitely going to be in for a world of hurt, to say the least, but we'll have to see how they handle that as the game gets started. Next band's coming on through here. Nautilus going to be taken off the board, not going to be 2 times in a row here. Or Mrati, going to have to go for something different. Okay, Saints bans are finally going to be coming on through here in just a second. The Alistar is going to be taken away pretty well quickly here. Celery Thief going to have to go to a new character, a new champion this time by as well. The Corky Alistar bot lane combo taken off the board. But there are still plenty other engaging supports to be picked here if that's what the Celery Thief wants to end up going for. Speaking of engaging supports, we are going to get Rel taken off the board. Poppy looking like the other one. Yeah, lots of tanky. Engaging supports, or possibly top lanes, possibly jungles. Could go basically all over the place here. Gonna be picked off. So, Saints, as of right now, still need their support, still need their mid lane. Meanwhile, for the side of NC State, they've basically saved their bot lane, unless that Hui is actually going bot lane. Not unheard of, but not very common either, especially if Kaisa is going to be the selection. Another very aggressive AD carry here for Enigma. Be looking forward to seeing that one from them, as we are going to see possibly Jinx come out here for the side of St. Clair. Creator Soa with definitely a hyperscaler would be interesting, but we got to get to that end game first to be super effective. Does that get locked in? And in fact will be. Jinx is going to be picked up here for Creator Soa. Now with the last pick being the support here, Pyke being hovered. Definitely an aggressive option. Leona possibly. Gonna make me keep guessing here, St. Clair? Very well might be. But considering all the engaged supports that have been banned out in this one, taking away the Leona is really gonna force the hand of NC State maybe into something that they didn't necessarily want to do, because I'm sure for the sake of aggression, they would love to pick Pyke. But for the sake of having something actually tanky, they would not want the Pyke. See if they opt to accept the squishiness and go for it, and they might end up just be playing it safe, or play the middle ground of sorts. No, they're going to actually lock in that Pyke, so they want aggression. I don't care what kind of health pool you have. We are going for kills, so we absolutely love to see it. Let's send the prod ready to the team so we can get ourselves into games sooner rather than later. Love the squad. It doesn't take them 30 minutes to get into each game. That is definitely a nice change of pace, to say the least here. Of course, on screen here is going to be the draft solidified, locked in. These are what has been picked in terms of who's playing what. I think we have a pretty good guess as to who's playing what in this instance. If anything shows up unusual, I'll definitely let you know, but nothing out of the ordinary in terms of really champions this time. Bye. Did I schedule this wrong? Hang on a minute. Oh, I see. I threw myself off a little bit, saying that this Ziggs was going to be bot lane, and then just completely not recognizing when the Jinx came in that would be taking bot lane instead of Ziggs. But yeah, that is going to be confirmed to Codito Ziggs in the mid lane. Badrick Grimes going to be playing the Graves. Nagan on the Ornn. Creator Soa on the Jinx. Maradi on the Leona. Meanwhile, on the side of NC State University, on the red side, we will have the Urgot up in the top lane, Xin Zhao in the jungle, Hui mid lane, Kaisa or Enigma there for the AD carrier role, and Pyke for support. Alright, I went AFK after things got dicey. I think NCU was DDoSing SEC last game. Have they been doing it all month? Because we've been having latency issues. No, but in all seriousness, no. NC State did a pretty fantastic job around the 18-minute and onward mark, to say the least there, finding pick after pick on the Saints. And really making it so I don't think they had a fair 5-on-5 team fight that entire time. But of course, once again, I want to give a big reminder to everybody that this is just the first part of an essential triple header here tonight. Triple main events. None of these matches could have been missed because they are just absolute craziness. They could have had their own standalone match any day of the week. Because, of course, we're starting things off here with NC State versus St. Clair Academy for the NACE Varsity Plus semifinal. We then now, very shortly at 8:30, we'll have NACE, NACE Varsity Premier semifinals. Maryville University up against our St. Clair Saints varsity squad. Then for Overwatch, we also have the semifinals there versus Illinois State University, a team that we've had a notorious hard time with. And considering there's many of those players on that roster on top 8 teams going to the Overwatch World Champion, or not World Championships, but the championships in Europe sometime soon. That's going to be a crazy one. Lots of them. You got multiple monitors, multiple windows. Definitely going to suggest locking that one in there. Just shaking off the nerves. Oh no! If they have stage fright, I might need to disappear. We are just waiting for the spectator delay to get on through. So we got about 1:30 left to go. So very, very quickly, if you need to, grab your snack, grab your popcorn, grab your water, whatever have you. Because we are going to have Saints fighting for their life here in these semifinals. Because, of course, NACE Varsity Plus, single elimination, 1 loss, you are done for the season. Saints in their division, East 1, guaranteed top 4 at this point. That's pretty good. 100%. Still a fantastic season for them. But I know they would love to have a crack at that divisional championship where either Converse Gold or James Madison University would be waiting for them. Send me the playlist, it slaps. This is just called Lo-Fi Rock Metal Mix, Corner of the Cafe. This definitely is a nice change of pace from just stream beats. Don't get me wrong, I love stream beats. Those music tracks probably lasted me about 5-6 years worth of streaming. And discovering this was a nice, happy accident, to say the least. So I'm definitely happy to have a quick change. But sadly, we do have to lower the music here. And this is just about time to get onto the Rift. We're loading in just a moment's time, getting through all the pauses and all of that good jazz. Did I say I like street meat? No, I'm talking about stream beats. Whoopsie. I don't blame you for thinking I said that, though. I know I tend to drag some words or some letters a little bit off. Don't clip it and ship it, please. Oh dear. Just waiting on a couple of load-ins here. Hopefully I'm not stuck. Okay, good, we're not stuck. I was getting worried there for a second. Okay, let's get this overlay all cooked up and good to go. All right, Saints Nation. Are we staying alive here today, or is this the end of the road? I'm sure you can hear it in the background because it is just about time. Let's get into the swing of things. Game number 2, NC State versus St. Clair Academy. Let's get into it. A little bit of a change of pace here from the Saints this time by. Going to be going down towards that bot side as a group of 5. Maybe trying to see if they can take a quick peek. Enigma is there. Would have spotted out the Saints. What is the answer? Enigma going to run away, of course. No resources blown. Where did the Saints opt to go from here? Gonna just end up retreating. I do like what I've seen there from Unraveling, as they did also manage to sneak a ward towards that towards that red buff. A little extra vision there in the Saints jungle. I see Jinx. Yep, anybody watching Arcane's definitely happy right now. And then it's actually going to be Negan towards the blue buff, who's going to be the one jumped on. Badrick Grimes is here. This is a 2-on-2, actually. Negan extremely low, but Kevra's low too. Badrick Grimes going to get the first blood here. Codito is here for the reinforcements as well. Icy going to telegraph this flash a mile away, but is going to be able to escape A-OK. There we go, Saints Nation. That's exactly what you wanted. Punished for the aggression. And starting things off right there with a kill onto Badrick Grimes' Graves. Of course, Creator Soa has a little bit of extra long-range options here, being able to pull out that rocket launcher for the price of mana onto those auto attacks. But granted, that does suck up a lot of mana extremely quickly. So we'll be able to trade up a little bit more. Maradi going to dive on in here. This is a lot of damage actually onto the Celery Thief. And Celery Thief does not necessarily have the health to be doing this, but some big damage coming out the other way. Enigma extremely low. An awkward 1-on-2. Creator Soa gets one. Get excited. Send it! Creator Soa with the double kill. Get excited, get the lead, get the gold in your pocket, and get some items, why don't ya? Beautifully done there from the Saints bot lane. And for Creator Soa to not back down. This is exactly what we wanted to see. How in the world is this bot or this top lane looking this way here? How Amanda and I were giving, we're not giving crap. We were talking about how Ornn can't really do much in terms of damage early. Urgot is supposed to be a lane bully. And Icy's played over like 115 games on Urgot this ranked season alone. What on earth happened to the point where Icy is going to be forced to use the TP already up in that top lane? Good on you, Negan. You're figuring something out out there. You can't hear the other commentator because Amanda did have to go as she is getting ready to set up the stream for the Overwatch match and the League of Legends match that are both happening at 8:30. I was definitely blessed to have her here for Game 1, but now you're just stuck with me, Mr. Danners. The yappening is upon you, as I would sometimes say. Oh, we had a bit of an exciting start to this one, but it slowly calmed down for a little bit. Kevra is going to show themselves on top of that ward, take it out nice and quick, but the Saints know not to mess with that. So of course, that definitely troublesome. While Jinx has the damage, it's not necessarily early, and they don't necessarily have the movement necessary to get away from the ganks, unless they manage to get a kill or something, and then they can go zip away. So they have to be very, very careful. We know Maradi's right there. Stuns and roots in hand if necessary, but still don't want to find yourself in a spot where you're getting outnumbered. Saints Nation unite. I like that. I like that. It's coming on through. Let's ride this wave here while the Saints have a lot of positive momentum as the dragon gets spawned up here. Start things off. 3-1, 400 gold in the lead here for the Saints. But you can see still how uncomfortable this St. Clair bot lane is up against Enigma and the Celery Thief. There's going to be the Lance coming out, but it's not going to end up finding Celery Thief. But 43 CS compared to 29 now here. So even though Enigma did go down, they're still able to threaten with so much damage. The Saints are really respecting Enigma and Celery Thief. Megan, once again, going to be dueling up there with Icy. I think now that Icy has a couple of levels into their abilities, they're actually able to hold their own, maybe just that little bit more. Maybe not super comfortable, but at least comfortable enough to keep even after having a really rough first wave or two. So, good on Icy to get this one back up there. This mid lane, though, is going to be concerning for me. We're going to have to hold that thought in 1 second here. Marathi going to be taken down to about their last quarter. Patrick Grimes going to be making the rotation on over, but with Marathi so low, trying to find an opportunity to engage is going to be awkward unless they dive. We see them trying to bait it. They do, but the Ignite is going to make this kill go for free. Celery Thief going to be taking care of Marathi that time by, and Patrick Grimes went for the engage, but the side of NC State University are already completely done with that play, moving on towards the Dragon. Like I was saying before, this mid lane matchup here with Cadito is going to be very, very concerning for me up against Unraveling. Unraveling on the roster is the highest ranked member on this NC State roster, currently being shown in Grandmaster. But even with the extra range on these bombs, the 75 compared to the 45 in terms of CS is going to really hurt Cadito the longer this lane goes. Definitely needs to find something with the rest of the squad. Definitely don't recommend trying to do it alone. Gonna end up using the Mega Inferno Bomb just to clear the wave. Which honestly, don't blame you. Just get the pressure off the turret, because God forbid that turret goes down and Unraveling is not fed, but feeling as good as they are after having so much CS. Leading the game in CS by quite the margin as well. Next closest is Enigma there with 66, and they've been basically battling this entire lane, so just goes to show how strong Unraveling is, and how good Cadito is to at least keep themselves in this one and not going down to anything stray. Still doing a decent amount of damage there with those Qs, but this is going to be extremely awkward here. The Saints are split, but Icy's kind of split as well, but that is 4 members of NC State kind of going for these grubbies. Meanwhile, down the bot lane, it's going to be a dive attempt here for St. Clair. They know that they need to make some sort of lead happen. Enigma extremely low. Rocket, send it. Not going to happen. Flash coming out here from Enigma right at the same time. Fight in the river by the grubbies was about to break out. Snaps away, but Enigma is going to survive down in that bot lane as well and is now kind of healed up, had some potions in the pocket. So I like the attempts there. I'm glad that Marathi but Marathi was able to get out of dodge considering all the ultimates, or Enigma's ultimate was used. Do they try this again? They immediately got stunned up, so they're just going to try and trade this. It's going to be a trade as a shield blast. Holy crap, they live with next to nothing. Get out of dodge, because there is someone on hot pursuit. Celery Thief. You know they'd love to absolutely finish the job. I don't think they're going to be able to. With that extra speed boost, Creator Soa is going to be able to get to tower safely. Going to trade the 1v1, accept the death onto the support to at least get another one onto Creator Soa. 3-0 now onto that Jinx. Has started to catch back up in CS as well, now that they've had a little bit of extra time to breathe. Only being down 10, definitely nowhere near as bad as it was. Creator Soa might have a lot of pressure on them going into this mid to late game. Up in the top lane, the Wet Noodle fight commences once again here. Negan proving that Orton does have at least a little bit of damage in that kit. Heading in down towards the bottom lane here, so able to clear these waves quickly. A big scoop actually, bringing them down to about a quarter. Don't think it's quite in range there. We know Celery Thief was licking their chops, wishing they had their ultimate at this time. A quick scoop, but of course invisible to the Saints' eye as of this moment. Patrick Grimes is here. Unraveling is also here, and kind of exposed actually. Gonna be stunned out, and Rocket comes on through, not gonna get the hit. Unraveling is going to get flash shot. Creator Soa now 4-0. But now, as this fight continues, the Saints are outnumbered by Creator Soa. Looking for more. Double kill. Is completely excited. Finds another one. Looks for a third. They're absolutely going to be able to do this. The Saints have low health bars, but no deaths to their name in this fight. Huge team fight for the Saints. Huge profits for Creator Soa. Oh gosh, be careful though. Celery Thief does have their ultimate now, which of course is a percentage health based execute that resets if you get the kill. So if the Saints are low health bars lined up like that, Celery Thief could have just played spoiler, but Saint's gonna get out of here just in time. Maradi's still kind of stuck down there. Celery Thief is really being a nuisance in this instance. Patrick Grimes is going to rotate down, though. Maradi still about quarter HP. Scary position considering you're dealing with that Pike. Enigma doesn't have an ultimate left, though, so it is going to allow for Bradford Grimes to get in there. But their jungler is here as well. Kevra is going to try to deter this one, considering how much damage Celery Thief has taken so quickly. Just to get the Saints off their back. 20 seconds now until the next dragon shows on up here. Couple wounded health bars here for the Saints, but at the same time, a very, very low support. And Enigma's taking a little bit as well. Bradford Grimes going down. Big ultimate coming out though from Roddy! The big stun! Now the Ignite coming on down. That is going to be a double going through. And Auto Director is trolling me right now as we have fights happening all over the place. But this all ends up with an 8 and Jinx here for Creators. So, as 3 fall, in theory, the Saints can rotate on over, but granted, Bradford Grimes did go down in that fight, so they're just going to opt for the turret plates instead of the dragon this time by. You'll have to expect that there is going to be some focus towards that dragon in a very, very short time. Cadito is actually starting to deal out some pretty decent damage here. Sure, the CS difference compared to Unraveling is still a talking point, but at least these don't tickle. Neither does Unraveling, though. That was just the CC ability, let alone the damage. Bradford Grimes, oh dear. Thankfully, Celery Thief is trolling a little bit and did not actually fire off the hook towards some big damage coming on through. Mega Inferno Bomb onto Unraveling, so gonna make them think twice. Unraveling does manage to get this secure, though. But actually, from downtown, from the bot lane even, the rocket from Creator is gonna find the execute onto Unraveling to barely make the Saints trade this 1-for-1. What a snipe for Creator. So, after having a very, very quiet game number 1, it feels like everything is going right here for them. And game number 2, 9-0 this time by. And Maradi is about as close as we can to being elite here in this one. 1-3-7. Just involved with everything. The big ultimate in that last team fight as well to land the stun onto 3 members of NC State University was absolutely huge as well. A little bit of a calm before the storm here now, so I'm going to take again the quick second here. First off, thanks everybody for tuning in to the Academy team. So if you don't get them on stream that often, with this being their fight for their NACE life, definitely glad we can do this, and thank you for supporting them. Of course, they win this best of 3. They're on to their division finals to play either James Madison University or Converse University. And of course, later on tonight, we still have plenty of action. This is just the start, even though this could be a damn main event in its own right. Still have at 8:30, so kind of probably starting up right now. Actually, yeah, literally starting basically right now. We do have the Varsity League of Legends team on Saints Gaming CA being hosted by Gabriel, going up against Maryville University. We do have the ults kind of being dropped down on this bot lane. I do also want to let you know about the NACE Overwatch semifinal happening versus Illinois State University. That'll be on Saints Gaming CA too. You got the extra monitors. By all means, this is the perfect day to use it. Any of these matches could have been a main event in their own day, but we happen to have all 3 of them on the same day. As Maradi finds a good lance right onto Enigma. Lots of damage. Ornhorn coming on through. Bonks him up to the skies, and it's going to be Nagin taking care of Enigma, just kind of soloing them so that the rest of the Saints can just secure Dragon at their leisure. Cool, calm, and collected here is Nagin and the rest of St. Clair. 3K gold lead to their name. Tied up on Dragons. Only the bot turret gone. Compared to game number 1, they are definitely transitioning into this mid game much, much better. And finally able to find some team play, some team fights, some objectives. And not as many times are we seeing the Saints just get caught alone. 10-0 here for Creator Soa here onto this Jinx. Absolutely ridiculous. Infinity Edge in hand. Many more items on top of that as well. Compared to the 1, 5, and 3 Enigma. Compared to the superstar kind of play that we saw in game number 1 from Enigma, this is definitely probably shaking him up a little bit, but for that competitor's mentality has to come in strong. For both sides, not to ride the high too high, but not to fall behind after having a rough one this year. Couple of Wake Rubbys going down. Negan going to be dueling up against Icy here. Actually, in the mid lane, Celery Thief is going to get jumped on. Big scoop actually coming out here from Icy. Going to finally win that 1v1. We knew it would probably happen eventually, but the fact that it does rely on that chainsaw execution to land is definitely scary. Codito in the mid lane. This is troublesome. About half health gone. A little bit of extra burst damage on top of that. Going to survive this time. But the Saints are going to kind of take that opportunity to really try and shove down this mid wave and maybe try to push towards that mid turret. Going to opt against it, take the minions, take the push, and just call it there. So an overall positive here for the side of NC State University to keep themselves within striking distance in this match. Because honestly, I tell you what, if all of a sudden NC State managed to blow up Creator Soa in this fight, or in any sort of team fight, they could probably swing the rest of that fight easy. Easier said than done, but it could absolutely happen. You have the tools to do it. You get the Jinx low, you've got a Pike and an Urgot that could just randomly execute you. If you are low, Enigma could literally just jump on you. And then, yeah, just don't step in the fire, and you're okay there to try and dodge the way there from unraveling, but I mean, much easier said than done. And considering Jinx has no dashes for herself, positioning will be key. A little bit of quiet time since we have Dragon, about minute 35 or so. A Baron Ash are going to be making its presence known in about a minute's time as well. Battered Grimes up to the top. Okay, goodbye. Health bar gets taken down to a quarter, but they're actually flashing in, and it's going to force a flash coming out here from Unraveling. So, what on earth? Where did that come from? How are you predicting this? Fantastic shot there from Creator Soa. But that's still not going to be enough to stop the onslaught that we see coming on down here in this bot lane. Sure, the fancy kill up top, but the members are late. Big double stun coming out through. Horde send them through. Mosh pit down bot lane. Takes the one up. Celery Thief knocked up. Enigma immediately getting exploded. 3 taken off the board as a whole in that fight. I guess if you include what happened up top as well, Codito was able to take care of some of this tower as well. These rockets from Creator Soa, though, are just absolutely popping off. It's 12-0-1 now. Baron Nashor has now shown up on the field, and considering that the Saints are pushing pretty significantly here, you can see maybe that being a thing the second. Celery Thief getting extremely low. Rocket going to just get eaten up there by Kevra, taken extremely low. Unraveling is just going to get Maradi, but not Creator Soa. Creator Soa has been slowed, but Maradi is there to tank things away. But still, the rest of the Saints here are now also available to try and make the play happen. They're going to opt to turn for the Dragon instead. What is NC State going to end up doing? Are they going to pursue, or are they going to give it up? Battered Grimes going to start things up. Icy looks like they wanted to pursue it, but the rest of NC State going to suggest otherwise, to go for the minions instead. So this is going to be Dragon number 2 now, coming up here for St. Clair. just under 4K in the lead here, but a lot of that has to do with specifically Creator Soa on that Jinx. Once again, you blow up the Jinx, you probably still win the fight unless Candido could just absolutely pull a fast one on some of these members. You do see now you're going to be actually popping the ultimates to just really force Unraveling. Think twice. Ultimate coming on through here from Candido from about halfway across the map. But we're going to see a bit of an awkward situation here where the rest of NC State are going to be collapsing on through. Enigma is going to be thank you very much. I'm going to click that kill for free. Nagan's going to end up going down. The rest of the Saints are here if they wish to pursue. Rocket was already used as well from Creator Soa, so you can't really hunt down Unraveling. But in the meantime, Icy this entire time has just been pushing this bot wave more and more. Going to be threatening the turret in just a moment's time. Okay, Bad Red Grimes nearly finding themselves in a rather green backing position, and this is exactly what I was worried about here. A lot of the value of having a Ziggs on your team is that you can just kind of keep killing away the waves quickly and for free between your Q and your E. A little bit of stealing action coming out from the Celery Thief. Nicely done, sneaking away that blue buff. Yeah, with Candido again having the Ziggs, the main idea is just to be able to keep clearing waves and just kind of delay this game to go longer and longer. But the way that Icy is playing, they still have been able to get some major damage on objectives, on the turrets, taking some and just at least getting them softened up for later. God forbid something happens here where the Saints do end up losing the fight and they push down that bot lane. That should be an inhibitor for free, if not more. And of course, the pressure is on here for St. Clair, considering that NC State have Game 1 already in their pocket. They can manage to win this one. That is going to be Grand Finals trip, or Divisional Finals rather, trip for them. Saints trying to keep their playoff hopes alive, and it may rest on the back or on one of the backs of Baron Nashor here. They looked to start it up here. Soa took a decent amount of damage, about a quarter HP in health. Big Inferno Bomb going to clear things out once again. Enigma took some decent damage. This might be the opportunity actually for the Saints to try and get in here. Bad Red Grimes taking about half their health just from poke from Unraveling. Horn, long-range engage attempt going to be coming on through. It's going to be able to snipe Enigma, and it takes the care of Unraveling as well. What a huge pick here from the Saints! The Rocket does manage to get onto Icy. Creator Soa needs to get excited. Will get the Rocket kill. Looks for Enigma. Enigma's going to flash away. Did not want to give any more to this Jinx. And off of that, with the two going down, Baron Nashor might be on the menu. The scary thing about all of this, however, will be Kevra. Jungler is still alive, Smite still in hand. Half HP going down. This very well could be the Saints' NACE playoffs on a Baron flip. Kevra, extremely low, does have vision on it, but no, it's actually going to be Creator Soa who manages to lock that one down. But good on the Saints to be able to at least put a little bit of damage onto Kevra to the point where they had to think twice about actually diving in and staying far enough away from the wall to where Kevra could not dive on them and get into smite range. So, not gonna lie, that was probably way scarier than it probably should have been, but the Saints are going to get away with it. No harm, no foul. Next objective on the board will be this dragon in about 30 seconds time. Bad Red Grimes going to get the jump onto Unraveling. The one-on-one, actually Unraveling looking fantastic. The Saints are really going to try and use everything they have to take care of Unraveling. Rocket going to be coming down through, not going to be able to get there. But as the Saints focus on that dragon, look at the side of NC State. They're going for the top lane. They're going for the objectives. They're going for the turrets. They get one. Unraveling should have vision on where exactly the Saints are, and Dragon didn't even spawn yet. They basically gave away that top turret for free. Saints are going to try to answer back. Big ultimate coming on down. Unraveling is going to be stunned up and finally taken care of. This leaves mid wide open, and actually Cadito down in the or up in the top lane using the bombs alongside Nagin to stop the ports, keep them going, so that that inhibitor can be taken for free. Unraveling definitely kicking themselves a little bit compared to their play in game number 1. Now sitting 1-5-1 in this game. Next Dragon now on board here for St. Clair. Number 3 going to threaten Soul Point next time by. That's going to be the next Mountain Drake in the pocket for them, as if they didn't kill buildings fast enough. We'll have some more as well. Cadito just up here in this top lane being an absolute menace. Megan the bodyguard as well, just really trying their best to keep Cadito safe. Yeah, you just try to threaten it so hard. And sure enough, yeah, they're going to try and jump in onto the Saints, but it's just Nagin. Nagin is going to eat everything, say thank you very much. I'm just going to regen all this and be completely fine. Thank you for your cooldowns. How about your bot lane as the Saints are now pushing on in? Unraveling is the only one there. Ultimate coming on through here from Roddy. And to get excited once again, you got to worry about the turret kills too. And it's going to be kill number 16 here for Creator Soa. The Saints might be spread out, but they are still doing big damage. How long does it take? How many hits does it take to get through a Nagin? Well, it might as well have been at least 67 or so, because that took forever. And by the time that NC State gets here, they're not going to have a base left. Towers gone. Nexus gone. Game 3 secured. All right, Saints Nation, are you not entertained? Your Academy squad are not going down without a fight. And it is sure as hell exciting, to say the least. I know I'm having a fun time here on the commentary booth. I hope everybody is having a fun time as well, tuning into this one. Creator Soa, 17-0-1 in this one, did not die. Cadito as well, 1-0-3. May not have necessarily had as many eliminations, but was always on the map just slaying, as I just randomly have my overlay displaying here like an absolute scrub lord, but what can you do? Well, those two games were hella exciting. Everybody enjoying themselves. Tejo, definitely thank you for the positivity as well. Another Cadito carry. I mean, absolutely, in one way or another, just full Saints carry there. Sure, a lot of the show was there onto Creator Soa with those 17 eliminations, but even at the end there, just being able to stop ports on the opposing team so they couldn't get back in time for the Nexus. Every little bit counts. Not everything can be listed on the scoreboard. But I tell you what, I need a quick drink, and I need a lobby to join into here for game number 3. So we'll go throw it to a very, very quick break in just a moment's time. Let's get this back up here once again. I tell you what, if you're enjoying yourself, stick around for just a little bit longer. The decider coming up in just a moment's time. Alrighty. Thank you for waiting, everybody. Game 3 draft now underway. After NC State University had a relatively close game 1 there with the Saints, but then really found their footing 20 minutes onward. Really took it into their own hands. Then game number 2, it just seemed like everything that could possibly go right here for Creator Soa and the rest of the Saints absolutely did. At least 3 separate rocket snipe occasions. And some big plays across the whole team, really coming in clutch. They were really able to find their footing in team fights that time. What does game 3 bring us? In regards to the bands, to start things off here, nothing has changed for the side of NC State University. Karthus, Yone, Skarner taken off the board. For the side of St. Clair Academy, not going to let Enigma have that core key that after what we saw during game number 1. Going to get rid of it immediately. Talia and Zach going to get taken off the board once again. First pick for NC State University is going to be the Ziggs. We did just say Cadito on there last time by. Played a relatively safe but strong game. Even after falling behind the lane a little bit, still made their presence known. St. Clair Academy might do the risky here. Lock in the Jinx right off the bat, and that they are. Can lightning strike twice here for Creator Soa? You picked it so early, so this entire team comp can be built around making sure that you can't move. That is either extreme confidence or straight up terrifying, so we'll have to see how that one ends up happening. Being played for the first time tonight, Sejuani going to be picked up here more than likely for Badrick Grimes. We saw the Graves hovered once again early, but opting for something a little bit more tanky. Because I tell you what, if they're going to turn this into a protect the Jinx kind of composition, they need something tanky. They don't need the Graves. Something that can lock some people down, and Sej would absolutely be that pick. Being picked here for the second time tonight, but this time here for NC State University, Viego going to be picked up. Not exactly the tankiest fella, but still has plenty of damage and plenty of utility given that cloning ability. Hui is also going to be picked up here for the 3rd time in this game. Hui is going to be in every single game here in this series. And I like where the Saints' head's at. They're going to be picking out Galio, the anti-mage super tank, coming on through to deal with both the Ziggs and Hui. They've definitely set themselves off for a very, very strong draft. It's obviously not a sure thing, but the Saints kind of trapped them a little bit in the sense. Second wave of bans coming on through now, and the first one getting taken off the board is going to be Pike. They do not want to allow the Celery Thief to get away with those hooks and possible assassination attempts, which, to be fair, we didn't really see a lot of in game number 2. Did not get their opportunity to shine. They don't want to see it again. Big Gator, Renekton, going to be taken off the board here for the top side of things. Both teams, in theory, still need their top laner, unless Galio goes top, which is probably unlikely. And then a support, in theory. Ornn going to be picked off this time. Saw Ornn in the first 2 games, not going to see it again. One more ban on the side of NC State. And Aatrox is going to be the ban, so we might see something new. This does kind of leave the door open here for NC State to lock in their Urgot again if they wish. Granted, it didn't really get that much effectiveness there during Game 2. Even though, like I was saying time and time again here, with Icy's 115 games in this ranked season on the Surrogate, still looked like they had a hell of a hard time versus that Ornn of the Saints. Leona going to be picked up here for Mrati, so there is a lot of protection for this Jinx, but they really do not have a partner for Jinx in regards to damage. Are they gonna like full protect the Kog'Maw, except it's a Jinx this time in this composition? That's kind of a terrifying spot to have to put yourself in. It's a very, very high pressure kind of play style you have to do. The Urgot is going to be locked in here from Icy. You're going to try it again. The Saints, though, because they're on the red side, will have the freshest of counter picks available for the Urgot if they wish. And then the Alistar is going to come back here from the Celery Thief. Did a very, very fantastic job with that champion in game number 1. Granted, this time he's probably protecting a mage, but can probably still lock down some kills, especially if you have some jungler assistance. Graves is being hovered. Graves is being locked in. So now the question is, where in the world is the Saints team going? Who's playing what in this instance? Some may be a little bit more familiar with the meta, might be able to call this out pretty well instantaneously. But for myself, who might have been a little bit out of the game for a couple months or so, I'm looking at this with question marks in my head. I like the draft, I just don't know where anybody's going. We'll send the Prod R in the lobby to let the players know we are good to go. Saints Nation, once again, thank you for tuning in here and supporting our Academy League of Legends team as they try to push their way towards the Division Finals in this Varsity Plus NACE bracket. Getting the pickup right here, right now, as we look at as I'm peeking at the in-game draft. This is how it's going to be. I saw the Sejuani. I called jungle. I was wrong. This is going to be a Sejuani top this time by here for St. Clair. That is going to be Badrick Grimes, still on his tried and true Graves. And then Galio here for Quidito. So I tell you what, everybody in Twitch chat, I know they love to see a Quidito carry. But can Quidito also be the big boss man? The big protector of sorts, the big bodyguard on this Galio? It may not necessarily be as glorious of a scoreboard for the Galio players, but we all know and love them. We need their support. Yeah, overall, taking a look again at the St. Clair composition, and all y'all should still be able to see it on your screens. I haven't taken it off just quite yet while we're waiting for the game itself to load, but excuse me. Yeah, the Saints roster, their damage is basically front lines by the Jinx. It is going to be like 80% coming from Creator Soa in this instance. Quidito can play any role. Well, thank goodness, because we're going to see cooking tacos and cooking on the Rift 100%. Absolutely. Going to love to see it. Although I thought Galio was a little bit more of an air user instead of fire, but I'll trust you. Yeah, there is still a little bit of damage here on the Saints team outside of the Jinx, but it's basically going to be coming out of Graves. Going to be on the hand of Badrick Grimes to maybe find a quick pop shot here at the Ziggs or the Hui. Godfather, my mate. I'm sorry, you're not going to be catching me getting a voice line on that one. No chance, bud. I see you. Ayo, indeed, exactly. All right, now we're just waiting on the spectator delay to confirm roles here for the NC State University side of things. That is going to be Icy up on the top for playing Urgot, rather. Diego is going to be played by Kevra in the jungle. Unraveling is going to have their second opportunity here at playing the Hui. A little bit of an underwhelming game number 2, but maybe this will be the one for them to turn it around. Enigma on the Ziggs. The Celery Thief on the Alistar once again. In terms of how many times Thief characters have been played for each person, Icy's played Urgot twice. Viego, first time here for Kevra, second time here for Unraveling, first time Ziggs here for Enigma, second time Alistar here for Celery Thief. Meanwhile, for the Saints side of things, Sejuani top, this is definitely going to be the first. Second time here for Badrick Grimes on the Graves. First time for Cadito on the Galio. Second time this game here for Creator Soa on the Jinx after a fantastic, unbelievable, may I say, game number 2. And second time here for Murati on the Leona. But of course, as we do approach 9 o'clock, never mind, we are past 9 o'clock at this point on here. Just, of course, do want to give the shout out once again that this is not the only action happening here tonight at the Nexus. Not the only action here on the Saints Gaming channels, on Saints Gaming CA's, or the Saints Gaming CA main Twitch channel. We will have Maryville University versus St. Clair Saints Varsity League of Legends and their NACE Varsity Premier semi-final matchup. Then on Saints Gaming CA2 in NACE Overwatch, this is also a Varsity Premier semi-final matchup. We do have Illinois State University going up against St. Clair Saints Varsity. Yeah, all 3 of those matches could have been a main event by itself. But these are the cards we are dealt. We get the coverage we can. Regardless how stretched thin we are. This is the Saints community. We want to make sure we support everybody. So while you're supporting your mates here, afterwards maybe give a quick shout out to everybody on the other side. Also going to give a quick shout out, of course, to Amanda, Aiden, and Theo working the Overwatch stream, and to Gabriel for soloing League Varsity. League, definitely recommend hopping over to the Saints main channel after this. Gabriel is straight up a League encyclopedia. So it will be a fun time with him as well. Well, let's bring this music down one more time. Saints are loading in. Just waiting for my computer to catch up with things here, and then we will be in game. Promise you that. Get things all situated. Without further ado, I think you could probably hear them getting summoned in by now, can't you? It is time. The deciding matchup here in this one. Here we go. Your St. Clair Academy looking to try and get the reverse sweep to move on into the division finals. Going up against NC State University, looking to try to make the repeat of the regular season match between the two and move on to play either James Madison University or not Conestoga. Why did I just blank out on their name? Converse. That's it.
Okay.
Okay. Brain farts aside, we still have ourselves a good game at hand here, just getting underway. The Saints looked for the 5-player rush, but this time towards the top side. They were not able to get the jump onto anybody this time. And according to Pedro in the chat here, Converse already waiting in the finals, so sure enough, they were labeled as the #1 seed in the regular season. I guess they're showing why. Waiting in the division finals will be Converse. Cadito, of course, on a tank this time on the Galio, an absolute fire skin. Really, really like that one. And this may be the first time we're kind of seeing AD carry versus mage bot lane kind of stuff going on here. Who ends up getting level 2 first in that bot lane? We'll have to see. Icy is going to make things extremely difficult here for Nagin, who tries to trade back and forth. Level 2 to Unraveling here in the mid lane early is going to put the pressure on. As you see, Unraveling completely content with just taking as many minions as possible just to put on the pressure. Level 2s came pretty well evenly to the bot lane as well as the top lane. Nobody really got a major lead off of that. It's hard to say that something has a major lead this early on in, but we might have something happening here towards the mid lane. Looking for the taunt, not going to quite get a piece of it. Going to force the flash though from Unraveling, so some resources spent. One thing that's going to be concerning here is there might be a little bit of a better time for Icy versus Nagin, as the CS lead was pretty ridiculous at one point there. It was like 17-3 in the favor of Icy, so this might be an awkward enough matchup here where Icy can really pop his feathers a little bit, show his thorns at the same time, and put the hurt on to Nagin. Cadito going to be running out of mana very, very shortly here, so farming with these Qs are not going to be as much of a possibility moving forward. We do see Kevra taking a look down bot lane, but the Saints bot lane has backed up for the time being. Some pretty sick damage, actually, going over onto Cadito as well, so that could have been problematic, but no flash or anything needing to be burned. Red side as a whole has not had a very, very fun time here in this one. Both teams won on the blue side so far in this series. Have to see if the blue side manages to make a 3-peat. It's going to be a big jump here onto Creator. So they have the Ignite actually already burning onto him. They'll try and turn some damage onto Celery Thief, but that Alistar is still so dang tanky. They're going to have to think twice, pop some cookies, and try to get your health back. Save the flash, though. Still going to make things difficult for Kevra if they want to make their way down bot lane. Nagin back with 8 here to try and be able to spam out a couple more abilities, because yeah, that Sejuani tends to go through mana pretty quickly. We do have Better Grimes coming down to the top lane. Going up to the top lane. Gonna force the flash out of Icy. Had to respect it, and gonna get out of dodge, but a good little punish there for the Saints. So flash is burned mid and top lane here for the side of NC State. Saints still have everything, so sure, they might be losing on CS basically everywhere. But they do have that little extra added pressure in terms of flashes burned. Be a positive if they're able to capitalize on it, otherwise it's just good defensive play from NC State to start this off. Cadito looking to engage again, but Unraveling has just been too good at positioning so far. making it very, very awkward for Badrick Grimes to try and actually get in here. I think they're going to try this again. Kadito extremely low, flashes on forward. There is no flash here until unraveling. Taunted, knocked up, taken down more than likely. Through the ice they go, or through the water they go. Does not matter. Pass this on over. Badrick Grimes. First blood. Sure, Kadito had to blow the flash, but being a fantastic support to be able to get that kill on over to Badrick Grimes, jumpstart their damage going into this one. Look at Enigma being an absolute little menace down here in the spot lane with these bombs blowing everybody up into the sky. Not enough to really threaten any damage, not enough to threaten Mega Inferno Bomb when it comes up yet, so not yet, but still just such a nuisance. Level 7 on Megan compared to Icy's level 6, so again, while the CS might not necessarily be in their favor, experience and now a kill at least is now in the favor here for the Saints. Gonna keep this game nice and even. Kevra has shown himself down here in the bot lane, maybe looking to try and make a dive. Saints do not have their ultimates on board here, so they're going to take this poke for essentially free. We do see Celery Thief making their way on over. Where is Kevra? They were around. Kadito is kind of hovering around the blue buff as well, maybe thinking that something would end up happening down bot. Of course, that big Galio ultimate, able to traverse very, very long distances to try and save allies. But honestly, probably good there from Kevra. Had they gone for that and Kadito showed up, that very well could have swung the fight immediately. Okay, scary opportunity here for Creator Soa, getting knocked towards the opposing side. Mega Inferno Bomb going to do a lot of damage, and now we do have Kevra Berto once again making a play towards the spot side, and with the Saints' health bars being so low, this one might be coming up essentially for free. Is there going to be a sort of reinforcement? We're going to see Amrati go all the way down, tries to get the ultimate on top of them, does not quite get it. Enigma going to get the one. Galio coming on in. Kadito to try and make the save. The taunt under turret onto Kevra. Very, very scary. That's going to be one. Celery Thief goes down. Kadito leading the charge. May not necessarily have the damage to get this done, but slowing things down here for Badrick Grimes and the rocket to try and come on through, but a big stun as well. Going to be put onto Badrick Grimes. So the Saints could not follow through for what ends up being a 1-for-1. That could have gone much, 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 much worse here for the side of St. Clair. Able to get the 1-for-1 is definitely a plus. And with Enigma still staying here, that's definitely ambitious, to say the least. Celery Thief spots out Badrick Grimes. This should signal to Enigma that it's time to go home, right? You're still at like a quarter HP. Granted, at least luckily for Enigma, there is no Super Mega Death Rocket for Jinx just yet. Still on cooldown for just a little bit more. But they do have to be kind of careful. And they are going to back up. Okay, sure enough. I was going to say, you're tempting fate if you keep staying in lane like that. But they push out to their maximum. Have a kill under their belt, and they'll have some items under their belt as well. Okay. So well played. Top side going much better considering how the early portions went there. It's only 84 in the favor of Icy compared to the 76 of Nagan. Badrick Grimes compared to Kevra, it's going to be the 79 for Kevra compared to the 62. As we see Kadito as well as Unraveling kind of juking it out here in the mid lane. Some decent damage coming out here actually. Good half of your health chunked down, but Kevra has made their way to the mid lane, while Badrick Grimes is all the way up top. And then one thing that might have kind of gone under the radar is that the first dragon was also taken by NC State University. Next one going to be coming up in a minute. The Void Grub's also being here as well. Gonna mean the objectives are gonna be definitely an eye for basically all the teams. The Saints are gonna be the first ones on top of it. Badwick Grimes alongside Nag already taking care of that. Creator Soa and Maradi really trying their damnedest to try and keep Enigma and Celery Thief away from that turret. And while I was trying to stay healthy enough so that the dragon could possibly be a possibility. Ultimate coming on down. Here comes Codito from the river. It's going to be the one-on-one Enigma versus Creator Soa. Rocket is going to find its mark. The one-on-one goes into favor of Creator Soa. Nice little sidestep action to get themselves on the board. A little too cocky there for Enigma. Jumped away from their teammates and paid for it. Dragon should be the next thing on the minds of the Saints as it's spawning in just a second's time. We do see it flying in there from the south. But now possible fight opportunity here. Codito going to be using the taunt to try and get themselves out of dodge here. 3 members of NC State are here clear in the vision and get ready for a possible dragon attempt. Where is Kevra? Kevra is down at the bot lane as well near the dragon. So the threat of taking said dragon is definitely there. But so is Badwick Grimes. I wonder if we're going to have a bit of a contest here for this. Codito 1 on Galio, Faker 1 on Galio. We got this. Okay. If Faker did it, then it must be K, right? I mean, so far so good here for Codito. 0-0-3. Just being the helping hand, the bodyguard that they can be as best as possible. And honestly, just keep Badwick Grimes, keep Creator Soa alive. Mission accomplished. Codito Faker confirmed now. I mean, that one might be a bit of a push. Still a legend, though. Oh, now we're cooking. True. Guma won on Jinx, so Creator Soa is definitely Guma. Now Codito over Faker. Oh, jeez. Flash burns here, actually, here for Creator Soa after unraveling. Does kind of catch Creator Soa with the pants down a little bit. Nearly in burst range. Half health basically gone. Enigma going to get dove on here. Nagan's actually looking for the 1v1. The Mega Inferno Bomb was not enough of a flash, though. One shot to kill! How did they manage to do that? Nagan gets the 1-on-1. Did not expect the rocket! Again! Creator Soa! Pick it up where you left off. These plays looked harmless. And then it just turned into two huge picks. We take it. We absolutely take it here. These rockets here for Creator Soa absolutely on point. Nagan just showing up on a character that I would not consider a duelist in the slightest. Still managing to make the Sejuani work. Bottom tower here for the Saints, definitely getting threatened. Icy going to be taking some turret shots, though. Might need to think twice about that one. Going to be defended for the time being, while the Saints did manage to pick up the Rift Herald. And at least here for Creator Soa, those rockets do a fantastic job of clearing waves, especially as you get more and more items. Is Nagan going to go for this again here? The traditional lane bully here in Icy versus Nagan, but oh, we got a spoiler. Kevra going to come in and stop the one-on-one. Get the elimination there. We've got Shelly coming on in through. So we may have lost one player down bot, but we are going to get a turret. Granted, at the same time, Icy should also be able to take that bot turret. This mid turret as well for the Saints going to be looking a little worse for wear, about half health. But of course, this is exactly what we came here for. Going into this one with Academy games, for the most part anyway. Once we see playoff games, the matches start getting really, really intense, extremely close. One of the reasons why I love casting Academy stuff so much. We don't get to do it often, but absolutely love to do it when we can. Oh no, Negan. I mean, you could one-on-one, but can you four-on-one? Not a chance, it looks like. You can want to return? No, that turret's dead. Yeah, nothing you can do there. Negan, not a clue that that one was coming. Gonna get taken down. Definitely taking a little bit of the wind out of his sails, but definitely not the main carry to worry about here. Patrick Grimes nearly got themselves in a pretty rough position. Gonna take a little bit of damage here from Unraveling, but not enough to have to really be scared. But Enigma in a solo lane is definitely a terrifying thought, considering how quickly they can take care of turrets. Enigma going to dodge the initial taunt, but is going to end up getting flanked here. And no chance, just going to give up their life for essentially free. They did do a lot of damage on that turret, I'll give them that, but that's not necessarily the kind of thing you like to see here for the side of NC State, but Saints, we're going to be taking that every day of the week. And it looks like they're going to actually opt to put the pressure on, bringing the teleport to go towards the top lane again to really try and finish off that turret. Negan is going to go meet Unraveling up in the top lane. But now that Hui doesn't have a teleport to actually get to a team fight, and with this dragon coming up in 5 seconds, this could allow for the Saints to have themselves a lopsided fight if Sejuani, or if Negan rather, does end up TPing to it. Actually do see Unraveling is going to be stuck making the walk all the way down from top lane. Roddy going to try and keep the Jinxes safe. Celery Thief is going to get evaporated before this team fight even starts. Rocket is going to be there to finish the job. That is just the zoning ultimate coming out here from Negan, but it's still going to be super effective, as it's going to be the ultimate coming out here from Cadito. Badrick Grimes shut down, takes care of Kevra. And the side of NC State, I'll tell you what, they seem to kind of be trickling on in here. No confidence right now. Creator Soa and Cadito, they want more blood. They're seeing Unraveling there. Gonna give it a shot. Gonna try and dive. The taunt comes on through, but with Creator Soa, just the unapologetic dot damage coming out here from Unraveling was definitely kind of scary, to say the least here. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure if NC State is necessarily crumbling, but they do not look confident, which for the Saints is definitely going to be a bonus. Now you can kind of tell the pressure was onto Unraveling as well, as I'll call him based off of rank. I don't necessarily know who the shot caller is here for the side of NC State, but with Unraveling being the highest rated player as the Grandmaster, you gotta think that NC State's kind of thinking that it'd be a little bit of extra weight onto Unraveling's shoulders, and we did see the Flash play, like Silver called out in chat. The Flash seemed a little bit desperate, like really wanted to shut down Creator Soa. And I get it. This is your NACE playoff run on the line here in this game. Enigma is going to get caught in the mid lane, locked down, nowhere to go. Badrick Grimes, 6-0-1 here in this game. Popping off on his tried and true Graves. I mean, the momentum screams St. Clair right now, but it's only a 1,000 gold lead. We're going to see Celery Thief take a ton of damage. Rocket comes on through, not going to find its target. Brody going to get themselves an elimination here in this one. They still have to respect Unraveling's damage, though, in these close quarters, because that's where things can get troublesome. As the duel in this bot lane continues, Icy scoops him up. What seems like a harmless little duel has turned into your death, and now Saints have to respect Icy, pushing the wave down on this bot side. 2-0-0 so far here for Icy. Relatively quiet game for them overall, all things considered, but I feel like they're kind of doing exactly the job that they're looking for. Just pulling attention away from the main pack, forcing the Saints to try and deal with it as a 1-on-1 or a 2-on-1 scenario. Kevra down in the bot lane as well, nearly got themselves caught around the Gromp area. Badger Grimes going to lead the charge. It's going to be knocked away though by Enigma. Satchel charge going to launch it away. Kadito at this entire time. Oh, it's a pretty decent damage actually. Using some abilities that just juke around. Might be a tank, but still has a couple of moves for themselves. Get out of dodge. And cleaning up the waves. As we do, of course, have a little bit of dead air, as this game is basically even now. 37.4 compared to 38. That is nothing, considering we're at this 22-minute mark in the game. But of course, a reminder that this is not the only action happening around the Nexus here today. Of course, on Saints Gaming CA1, our League of Legends Varsity squad currently fighting for their playoff life up against Maryville, Varsity Premier semifinals. And then the same thing on Saints Gaming CA2, where our NACE Overwatch Varsity Premier squad is going up against Illinois State University for their playoff life as well. Lots of intense matches today. Like I was saying before, definitely a great day to have another monitor too, or a couple tabs open or something. Lots of important games, lots of fun, exciting games coming on through. Called it early, Kadito's a demon in any role, so sure enough, as of right now, I'm going to have to agree. 0-0-6 has just been an absolute bodyguard support menace. To see even there, trying to use the taunt to try and catch any stray attempts. That is going to be Badrick Grimes secure this one. Do we actually get a 5-on-5 fight? That is going to be the ultimate coming out of Emirati. So there's a lot of damage coming on down here across the Saints, though. Where is Creator Soa in all this? Still very, very healthy, all things considered, but Badrick Grimes took a lot of heat in all that one. And I don't think the Saints are on the same page. Kadito stayed around looking to fight. Negan's kind of hemming and hawing, trying to figure out whether they're fighting or not. But also at the same time trying to dodge some Ziggs bombs. So that ends up allowing for St. Clair to get their third dragon in the game. They took a lot of heat. If there's a follow-up fight, they are probably in a world of hurt here. Kadito extremely low. They're actually committing outside of turret range. Badrick Grimes is point blank up against Celery Thief, but they did a ton of damage though. And Creator Soa still has a rocket in hand, looking for the opening, but it's not going to come on through. It is just going to be the ultimate coming out here, I believe, from Icy. One way or another, making the Urgod work for them. Rockets, barely. Not going to take care of anybody. The indecision here from the Saints could not commit on whether or not they wanted to do a full retreat or commit to the fight. Ends up with a kind of half-seas play right on the eastern side of that mid-turret. Is going to end up costing them their first mid-turret. No real extra damage coming on through, though, as the only other player, or only player that did end up going down, was Mirati. And had NC State pushed on forward, there was a very, very good chance that it could have set up Creator Soa for a pop-off, get-excited opportunity, multi-kill opportunity. So, good restraint on the side of NC State University to just take what was given to them, but then back up after the fact. When does TSM play? Somebody ban that guy. See you, Lakaru. But, we do seem to have a pause once again here. Tech issue, not quite sure. Let's see if I could cheat a little bit and check the chat. Because, of course, it's a Mr. Danner's solo stream, which means we break fourth wall. Mic issue on the side of St. Clair from Kadito. So, yeah, kind of critical. At the end of the day, you do kind of need to talk to your teammates after all. Hey, I'm glad I'm not the only anti-TSM person here. Let's go Silver. But I can respect their legacy. But it is what it is. Personal feelings aside here. Okay, now you CLG fans in here, you're the goated ones. Thankfully, we didn't have to wait too long here. Pause has been taken care of. Back underway here after the quick freeze that always happens after a pause. Don't worry, it's not just you. It's or it's not you. It's a me thing. In just a moment's time, of course. Game will fix it out, or fix itself out. But while we're here posted on top of Celery Thief, let's take a look at some of the players around the Rift. We do have, of course, Icy 3-0-0 right now, leading on CS as well, compared to the just under 200 of Nagin on the Sejuani. Jungler-wise, I mean, it's not even close. Right now, it's all Badrick Grimes on that 6-0-2 Graves compared to the 1-1-3 Viego. Mid lane, may not necessarily be eliminations. I'm still giving this to Kodita, though. Still making more of an impact as the bodyguard and the support setup playmaker kind of style compared to Unraveling Sway. Granted, still have to respect Unraveling Sway, though, especially in close quarters combat. Down in the bot lane, still honestly relatively even, but I still want to give the edge to Soa just barely. Or that lasting, consistent damage compared to just the burst of Enigma. Don't think they have necessarily enough burst damage yet to really make a huge impact. I very well could be proven wrong, though. And then support-wise, we're still going to give you the shout-out, but I'm still going to end up giving this one over to Maradi after having those 6 assists on top of the 1 elimination. Next objectives on the board, Baron Nashor is definitely available, but then there is also the worry about Soul Point here if you are NC State. Your 1 dragon compared to the 3 of St. Clair Academy could be a scary thought as we approach this 30-minute mark in this deciding game of NACE Varsity Plus East 1, League of Legends playoffs, the semifinals in particular. Looking like the Saints are going to be slowly but surely making their way towards Dragon, but at the same time, so is NC State. Badrick Grimes nearly face-checking a pairing of the NC State squad. That could have been bad. I know Graves may be one of the tankier ADCs, but at the end of the day, you're still an AD carry. Dives on through. Nagin ultimate is going to be able to get Kevra. But there was not enough follow-up this time by Creator Soa took a little bit of bomb damage. The engage goes on through. They got Fertile Bomb, does manage to catch a couple of people, but Creator Soa, for the most part, has been left alone. Icy going to gobble up Nagin in this instance. Kevra extremely low. Get excited. It's going to be Creator Soa diving on through. Nearly gets taken down. This is the opportunity here for NC State. Icy and his trusty Urgot was absolutely asleep in game number 2, but it is coming out to play in game 3 right when it matters. 5-0-1, finding some critical eliminations here. A split in terms of objectives as well. A couple of them going towards the dragon, a couple of them going towards that mid turret. Successfully going to be able to get the turret, should successfully be able to get the dragon as well. Saints have to be careful as the dragon does eventually get secured. It's a lot of pressure on them. And it's a tough team composition to play. It was unfortunate there for the side of St. Clair Academy, and just a fantastic job there for NC State, as they were able to really get Nagin to use the ultimates before there was really anybody able to follow up on it. Then afterwards, Enigma and Unraveling Kevra, Icy, they were all able to find the targets necessary to either get eliminations or just slow them down. They made it so awkward for Creator Soa to try and like dance around the outside and really deal the damage, because at some point Creator Soa was basically in the middle of the dang thing. Only at the very, very tail end were they able to flash away while excited to be able to escape with a sliver of health. Another fight just on the north side of the mid lane. Big ultimate coming out here from Roddy. That is going to be the rocket coming out here from Creator Soa. It just ends up hitting Enigma, though. Probably aims for Kevra. The ultimate comes out of here from Candido as well. Lots of resources spent. You know the Saints want to invest on this. They've already invested so much. But they're actually maybe going to be able to chase down Enigma. No, got excited a little bit there, but not enough to really get the elimination on anybody. Honestly, definitely an awkward spot. Maybe a retreat may need to be at hand. Don't get caught in the sunken cost in this team fight. Spent a lot, and it may not have necessarily been on the right people. So regroup and try this one again. Meanwhile, NC State, they're just happy that they survived that barrage. And considering the low health bars here of the Saints, they're going to try and start up this Baron. Nagin has full vision of this, though, so this is not being done in secret. Absolute beeline being come down here towards this Baron pit, which could be the deciding moment in this NACE playoff semifinal matchup. They're all budged up. Rocket going to be the Baron secured by the Ziggs of Enigma, but the fight goes on through. You might have Baron, but it does nothing if you're dead! That's going to be 2 going down here for NC State. St. Clair Academy, this is the time to counterattack. That was the opening. The Saints were kind of starting to bleed out a little bit. I'm not going to lie. Trying to play this composition, they were not on the same page in the slightest. But a big play trying to go towards this mid-turret now. But there's still enough bodies here on the side of NC State that they could not really capitalize on it. At the end of the day, I'm popping off that they were able to kill 2, but at the same time, that still means that there's 3 members of this NC State squad with Baron buff attached to them. A very, very low Creator Soa forced to retreat. No shot! He just sniped him! Unraveling with a fantastic shot, immediately derailing the next possible plan here for St. Clair. 200 years indeed, my friends. Bot lane turret taken down. Inhibitor turret next on the menu. Creator Soa nowhere to be found for 20 seconds, and they are going to push while they can. Candido ultimate keeping Badrick Grimes alive. He's the only damage left in this squad. Big ultimate coming on down here from Enigma. Not gonna snipe out Badrick Grimes. Not this time. The Saints have been able to stall ever so slightly. Half a turret left to go here. Creator Soa has returned. The damage has arrived. Can they poke out Icy? They're going to go on Icy, and they're immediately going to pay for it. Icy scoops up one. Enigma gets the other. They're going to keep on pushing. Celery Thief looks for Creator Soa. Not going to get them. It is all down to Badrick Grimes and Creator Soa to try and save that inhibitor. Not going to be able to do so. They back out to the fountain as this gold lead continues to bleed here for St. Clair College. NC State getting further and further ahead. 30 seconds until the next dragon spawns. You know they want that first soul point. Nagin is going to be in for a rude awakening. This could be huge, actually. They caught them getting greedy, and they're going to be able to keep pushing. They find one. They find Icy, but can they actually get the elimination? Drop the Rammus thumbs up. Everything's okay in their minds, but this is soul point. It's soul point, and Nagin is just going to try and distract. Stop supports. Icy can't live, but neither can Nagin. Essentially threw the life away. And the soul point does end up going on over to St. Clair Academy. Well, I tell you what, if there was an option, I think the Saints might have been able to find it, but I'm not holding my breath. I'm losing my breath, but I'm not holding it just yet. Still down by a significant amount of gold. A lot of weight in the hand of Badrick Grimes, as well as Creator Soa, to stay safe somehow when you have characters that can scoop you, dive on you, and just pop you from like halfway across the map if they really wanted to with that Mega Inferno Bomb. NC State, the momentum's still in their favor. I'm sure they're reeling a little bit from losing the soul, but they know they've done a significant amount of damage. The bot lane super minions are still going to be a factor in this one. No real objectives, though, to really play around other than turrets and inhibitors, though, for the time being. Baron doesn't show up for another minute 40. No Elder Drake for about another 4 or 5 minutes or so. So tell you what, if Saints want to just play scale and scoop up the supers, which are going to feed on over to Creator Soa, while trying to defend top lane as best as possible, that might be the play, but God forbid if somebody gets caught, that is going to be the end of this playoff series. And it will not be good here for the Saints. Icy kind of getting scooped up a little bit, unraveling, doing some poke damage as well from afar. Badrick Grimes A-OK though in the end. You can see that dot damage, just what seems negligible ends up being like a quarter of your HP. So scary to think about because that's not necessarily something that you can react to quickly unless you know about it 100%. Badrick Grimes going to go back up to the fountain, try to heal up the damage that was caused. But as we see up in the top lane, we got basically a triple split in this instance here. The Ziggs or Enigma Ziggs rather, is going to try and push us up. They're actually going to go for Enigma right away. Kodito looking for the hero play. The rest of the Saints weren't there, but can they still make something happen? The Mega Inferno Bomb coming on through, but it's not going to hit any of the DPS members. Kodito is going to end up going down, but at the same time, that's a lot of low health bars here for NC State. So can they actually capitalize on this? I don't think they can. There might have been low health bars, but they still had to teleport, so they're going to be able to get themselves back into the swing of things extremely quickly and add on additional pressure. Going to start bringing some of those super minion kills over to Neg and try and get them a little bit tankier, but they have to go quick, they have to go fast. Baron Nashor is on the menu once again. NC State got it the first time. The Saints aren't even going to bother trying to contest. The Rocket's going to confirm that it's happening, but it's too little, too late. This is an NC State University squad with a Baron Nashor in hand on all 5 members. With nearly 10K of a gold deficit. It really doesn't feel like the Saints are really behind by that much, but all the stats are saying otherwise. NC State University might be able to clean this one up on the next push if things go their way. God forbid, though, we are borderline 40 minutes here into this deciding matchup. Death timers are going to be a huge problem for any of the teams that happen to get a player eliminated. Bottom inhibitor has respawned here for St. Clair, so the super minions will stop very, very shortly. Pedito nearly found themselves caught. Celery Thief's going to take a decent little chunk there from Creator Soa, but don't get too greedy. Could be scary. God forbid one person jumps on you. You could absolutely be toast. Top lane is where all the pressure's at. We see Enigma doing exactly what he loves to do, just poking around, clearing waves, and killing turrets as best as possible. Of course, Ziggs can blow it up a little bit quicker. This could be the engage that decides the finals. Enigma's low! Can they end up getting him? They're diving! They got the taunt on them! They do kill him! Better Grimes, extremely low, whereas Creator Soa caught up with Icy. Icy took down one. Icy took down two. It's all up to Creator Soa, and it is going to be Icy on the tried and true Urgot to be the dagger in the heart of the Saints Academy roster. A fantastic series nonetheless. The Saints play their ass off, but at the end of the day, it is all NC State going up against Converse for the division finals. A heartbreaker indeed here for Saints Nation, but I cannot commend this Academy squad enough for not only the top 4 finish in their division, but for playing a heck of a fantastic series here. And regardless of being down borderline 10K, they still made that feel close, still made that exciting, and put on an absolutely fantastic show for everybody tuning in here tonight. So it turns out, I guess, blue side, you're going to get the triple win here. Every team that played on blue side ends up winning here tonight. Don't know what was in the water in the river on the blue side, but I guess that was just the way it goes today. But again, to finalize for those who may have just tuned in, that is going to be the NC State University victory. They get to go to the division finals up against Converse University. Your St. Clair Saints Academy roster fought hard. Had a hard time in game 1 after the 20-minute mark. Got picked off a lot. Could not get a full team fight in, really. Game 2, absolute domination for the St. Clair Saints. Did a fantastic job in that one. Then game 3, an absolute slobber knocker. Back and forth, but slowly but surely, NC State were going to be able to continue and crawl up a lead. Nobody was really a major standout until the end, where Icy on the Urgot was really able, I was going to say to put the dagger in the heart again, but really put the chainsaws to the bodies of St. Clair and just shred and do exactly what they want to do, rightfully moving on forward. But of course, big thank you to everybody for tuning in to this Academy match versus NC State University. Like I was saying before, I know we don't get an opportunity to stream Academy that often, but when we do, it is an absolute banger, and I'm very, very thankful for the players for sharing the streams, the viewers for sharing the streams, and tuning in to support your classmates, friends, family members, whomever, to make this all happen. Of course, before we do close out, a big thank you to the sponsors, of course, that also do make this all happen, that being Alienware, the St. Clair SRC, St. Clair Alumni Association, Tim Hortons, and Subway. Thank you all. Be sure to check out the other channels. I do believe Overwatch has concluded for the night, but in theory on Saints Gaming CA, we do still have Varsity League of Legends playoffs for NACE semifinals once again. Saints Varsity fighting for their life up against Maryville University. Do they have themselves caught in the same fate, or can they get themselves moving on forward, maybe to a final for themselves? We'll have to see. Big thank you to everybody in the chat one more time for all the positivity and love tonight, though, as well. This was an absolute blast. Again, my name is Mr. Danners, your producer here for the Saints esports program, and I'm very, very thankful to have been able to have this opportunity to cast this